Welcome to sold-out Veterans Stadium, where today the Philadelphia Eagles, with a 9-4 record, tied for the best record in the NFC, play host to the Detroit Lions, who are 2-11 in 1979. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender with Sonny Jurgensen, and the Eagles can clinch at least a tie for a wild card berth with a victory today. They've won 3 pressure-packed games in a row, and Sonny, one reason they haven't committed a turnover in those games.
And I think the pressure's on them here again, Gary, today against the Lions. Dick Vermeil feels that the Lions football team, underrated football team, their record doesn't indicate how good they are. He feels they're a superior team than the team they struggled against last week, the Green Bay Packers.
Now the Lions are coming off of that impressive win on Thanksgiving against the Chicago Bears, and while the Eagles haven't committed turnovers, the Lions have 39 this year.
Well, I tell you, that's what plagues a bad football team. Teams that beat themselves is something that Monty Clark and his staff are really concerned about.
Now we're going to have 2 of the outstanding pass rushing teams in the NFL, and the reasons: Carl Hairston, 13 sacks for the Eagles, and Bubba Baker has 12 for the Lions.
I tell you, being an ex-quarterback, those 2 frighten you, and the quarterbacks today better be aware of where they're going to be on the football field.
Ready to go now as the Philadelphia Eagles will be kicking off. It is cold today. Temperature at kickoff time, 39 degrees, and it is windy. The wind out of the northwest at 17 miles per hour. And there is a chance of snow flurries as this game wears on. Tony Franklin, one of the big stories in the National Football League this year, kicking off. And this will be John Arnold. He's a rookie out of Wyoming, and he's going to bring it out to almost the 30-yard line. Arnold, a free agent. It was just re-signed a couple of weeks ago. And let's set offensively now the Detroit Lions. There's the backfield of Rick Kane, who's starting for the 4th consecutive week. Boy, what a year Scott is having at one of the wide receiver spots, along with David Hill at tight end. Their offensive line, well, it's young, but it's improving. Keith Dorney, the #1 draft pick out of Penn State, and a quarterback, Jeff Comlow, who has been pressed into services this year, really just thrown to the Lions in a certain amount of ways. He has had a difficult time, but he is improving each week. This is Kane, and Kane is going to pick up a yard, and that's all to the 30-yard line. Let's set now defensively the Philadelphia Eagles. Hairston with 13 sacks, but Humphrey has 7. And that linebacking core, it's changed throughout the course of the year. Jerry Robinson playing in the middle inside for the injured Bill Berge. And then back deep. Secondary that, well, it's a veteran secondary. Bobby Howard coming in here and just 34 years old. It's a secondary that has 18 interceptions this year. Second down, 9 yards to go. Scott goes in motion. This is Kane again, and Kane is out to the 34-yard line. We're to bring up 3rd down and still 6 yards to go. Sonny, you talked to Dick Vermeil. He feels the Eagles will play well today.
He did. He was very confident down on the field. He realizes that they're playing a good football team, and they have to play their best. They can't make any mistakes against this football team. He said, we've had good practices all week. I think we're going to play a good football game.
Speaking of practices, the Lions couldn't even find a place to practice this week.
2 days they had to practice on about 25 yards. Had some people clean some snow off for them.
3rd down and 6 yards to go from the 34. That's David Hill, the tight end in motion. Comlow. He gets it off to Bo Robinson, the big fullback, and Robinson is going to be close to the 1st down. He needed to make it to the 39-yard line. He was dropped by Bobby Howard, the veteran left side cornerback.
Pretty good call, the screen pass. You see Robinson checking out. It's going to be very close right here. He juggles the ball a little bit. Pretty good concentration to gather that thing in. I think he's going to come up just a little short of the 1st down. Good pursuit that time by Carl Harrison.
And to kick the ball will be Swider. And John Shira, who did not play last week other than to hold replacements, is back. He's had some hamstring trouble. Swider has kicked exceptionally well. He is 4th in the NFC with an average of 40.5. Dennis Franks, a former Eagle, snaps the ball. It's a low kick. Shira coming up on the fly and at the 40-yard line. And I'm telling you, he showed some courage on that play.
Courage, and he saved the Eagles about 25 or 30 yards by running up and making a catch like that.
That was only a 27-yard kick. The ball at the 40. Let's set now offensively the Philadelphia Eagles. Sonny, we said an awful lot about Montgomery this year. What a tough customer he is.
And I think Harris came into his own. He became a Philadelphia Eagle last week.
Carmichael with 44 catches. And there is that offensive line. A very cohesive group. And Ron Jaworski, who's ranked 4th in the NFC at quarterback. From the 40, first down. Leroy Harris had an 80-yard run last week against Green Bay in that backfield. Jaworski has a mishandled snap from center. And I believe the Lions have it. The turnovers have not occurred in the last 3 games for the Eagles. On the first play from scrimmage occur.
The very first play you saw the ball come right through Ron's hands, went straight up in the air, and Detroit comes up with it. It's hard to see who gets on the ball. Looks like James Harrell, a linebacker, came up with it. And the one thing the Eagles didn't want to do is make mistakes. First one in 3 games, right?
Isn't that something? They played errorless football 3 consecutive weeks against Dallas, St. Louis, and Green Bay. And the first play from scrimmage, they bobbled the snap. At the 40-yard line, the Lions with an excellent opportunity. Scott goes in motion. Combo, he's looking to Scott, and Scott has the catch. He's out across the 35, inside it to the 34-yard line. Bernard Wilson, a free safety over there defending on the play. Scott, by the way, that is his 50th catch of the year. He's having his best year ever.
I see, looking at the stats there of Comlo, well, he's had an outstanding year. He's closing in on some rookie records. I see that Ron Jaworski got Marius Europa practicing the snap on the sideline right now.
It is cold, and that has to be something that concerns him on that snap. Second down, 4 yards to go. You see where they line Hill up that time, the tight end, and here's Rick Kane, and he has a first down. That was an interesting formation. They had David Hill lined up right behind the offensive line.
They put him in there for blocking purposes. They get an extra blocker by bringing him up, and that's exactly what he did. He charged in there on Charlie Johnson. Looks like Jerry Robinson made the tackle. It's a first down, though.
Boy, at Rick Kane, he's been a tough customer. As we said, he's starting for the 4th consecutive week. He's always had trouble holding on to the football, but he evidently has alleviated that problem. First down, just inside the 30-yard line. Scott goes in motion to the bottom of the screen. A give to Kane, and he'll go nowhere. Excellent reaction that time by John Bunting, number 95. Also getting up from underneath was Randy Logan. Boy, that Logan really came in low and stuffed that play.
You're talking about Rick Kane fumbling. I think a lot of that had to do with his coming off the bench cold, coming into the game, and then just being handed the ball and not really having a feel for it. I think starting for him has really helped him hold on to that football.
Leonard Thompson is checked in at wide receiver for the Detroit Lions as Gene Washington comes out. Second down, 10 yards to go. That's Scott in motion again. Inside handoff to Robinson, the big fullback out of West Texas State. And he may have gotten a yard. Robinson, been a very impressive rookie. He was their 3rd-round draft pick. He missed 3 starts because of fractured ribs.
Boy, good defensive reaction. It's a misdirection play. You see backs crossing. They come out with a little trap block. Wally Pursuit came out and tried to make a block there. Dorney, but you see how they got him up in the air. The Eagle defense is tough.
3rd down, still 9 yards to go. Gene Washington checks back in. Thompson goes out. Scott and Washington flanked wide. Kane, Robinson, the running backs, on a 3rd down for Comlo. That ball closest to David Hill. Pretty good defensive work that time by Randy Logan and also Herman Edwards. Just couldn't find anybody open. It'll bring up a 4th down for the Lions. Now, Benny Ricardo, his longest field goal of the year for Detroit is some 40 yards. He's done very well inside the 40. He's hit 7 of 9. Discussion going on, and he will come in and attempt the field goal. Scott Hunter will hold.
What's he got? 1 out of 7 over 40, right?
He's had a difficult time, but inside the 40, he's been tough.
Well, did you see that Eagle defense when they picked up Robinson? Looked like they were going to make a wish and start passing out legs and arms or something.
The defense has been tough. It's 5th overall. This will be a 45-yard field goal, so it'll be the longest of the year that Ricardo will hit if he is successful. And that kick is going to be short. He had good direction on it, but it is short. A 45-yard attempt. doesn't find the mark. And after the turnovers, the Eagles defense is able to hold off the Detroit Lions as we'll come back at the 10:07 mark of the first quarter.
Ford's 79 countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 Mustangs and pickups, $600 on LTD, over $1,000 on Heritage Thunderbirds. See your Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $600, and $1,000 better ideas.
You survey where the land is wild and unforgiving, filling in empty places on maps that until now have been almost unknown. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Miller Beer.
And here's a very important football game. Washington, a game behind the Eagles. They've jumped on top of Green Bay.
Heisman to Ricky Thompson, a 20-yard touchdown pass.
And now the Eagles, who've had only one play from the line of scrimmage, and that precipitated a fumble, have the football at the 28-yard line after that missed field goal attempt by Benny Ricardo. Bubba Baker at the bottom of your screen defensively moving, getting back. Carmichael, who has a string now of 109 straight catches or games with at least one catch. Couldn't get high enough for that one, even though he's 6'8". Let's set defensively Detroit. Gallagher is playing in there as Cleveland Elam is out for the year. And Bubba Baker has 12 sacks. He had 4 Thursday against the Chicago Bears. Linebacking, well, look at that young linebacking core, would you? All rookies. And back deep, a change. Jimmy Allen has been moved over to free safety. They moved Jimmy Stewart to the strong safety and moved Hunter out to a corner. Robert Montgomery. Good cutback runner, but nothing going on that play either, and it'll be 3rd down and 10. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd down, 9 yards to go.
Here we have one other change on that defensive roster. Starting in there, Ed O'Neill was playing in place of John Brooks. He started the game, and John Brooks has just come in on 3rd down.
Brooks is playing with a bad elbow. He dislocated that elbow. So some changes defensively for the Lions. They've had all kinds of injuries. They have 22 free agents playing on this team at one time or another. Here's a Leroy Harris, a 1st down catch to the 40-yard line. Ron Jaworski was dumped, but he got rid of it to Leroy Harris. That's his 19th catch of the year, and the Eagles have a 1st down at the 40-yard line.
Watch Bubba Baker come from the backside right here on a pass rush. You see how close they were to Jaworski just as he delivered the ball.
11-yard pickup to Leroy Harris. Boy, what a game he had last week. 137 yards rushing against Green Bay and Pittsburgh. That's a dangerous game for them, Sonny.
Well, you know what Cincinnati did the first time. Matt Barr kicked a 43-yard field goal to put Pittsburgh on top.
From the 40, 1st down, Montgomery, and boy, it is congested up there, isn't it? That's James Harrell, who's one of the big surprises this year. He was a free agent for Denver. He hurt his shoulder. He was put on the injured reserve list by the Broncos. And then the Lions heard of him. They signed him. And what an addition he is. A rookie at Florida. And interestingly enough, Sonny, he didn't even start at Florida.
That's right. But he's done a good job. Had a lot of tackles here lately, hasn't he?
2nd down and 8 from the 42. Carmichael, Charles Smith flanked out. And you see in the wing position go Montgomery and Harris. Now they jump back. No score, 7:53 to go in the 1st quarter. Jaworski on the play action. Krepley. And Krepley has a 1st down catch at the 42-yard line. Keith Krepley. That's his 35th catch of the year, and what a year this tight end is having.
Krepley does this as well as anybody, coming across the crossing pattern. See the draw fake again. Stan Wallace did an excellent job that time in blocking Bubba Baker, and he finds Jaworski finds Crefley open. Another first down for the Eagles.
16-yard pickup. They mark it just inside the 43-yard line. There's a stat that's interesting on Jaworski. He has 11 interceptions for the year. Montgomery on the first down, and he'll make it to the 40-yard line, and that's all. You know, this Lion defense on Thanksgiving Day held Walter Payton to 54 yards.
You're looking at the strength of their football team when their defensive team is on the field. Offensive is where they've had their problems.
Robert Montgomery having his best year. He came in here only 18 yards behind Otis Anderson in the NFC rushing derby. Of course, Earl Campbell leads the entire National Football League. 2nd down and 8 from the 40. Baker jumping off. Did he get back? No flag. Jaworski. He's going to run it. And he gets down. Is coming up with Ken Fantetti, the rookie from Wyoming, their 2nd-round draft pick, who has really come on after moving him to the middle linebacking spot. Early in the year, he played outside and just didn't perform that well.
They seem to like him inside. What's this, his 6th start, I guess, huh?
That's right, 6th straight start. It's now 3rd down and 6 for Philadelphia at the 38-yard line. Billy Campfield will now check in. Leroy Harris exits for the Eagles. The Eagles could clinch a wild card playoff berth with a win here today, and before the day is over, they could win the Eastern Division if Washington and Dallas would lose. So it's a big day for the Eagles. The Lions last week breaking an 8-game losing streak, defeating Chicago. Jaworski back on 3rd and 6. Look out. And they're going to blow that one dead, and that's Ed Rule in the grasp and control. Good pressure put on that time by Dave Purifoy, and the sack back to the 50-yard line. That is 33 sacks this year by the Detroit Lions.
Well, you got to give that secondary a lot of credit, too. Excellent coverage that time. You know, they've really had to juggle that defensive team. What do they have? Something like 23 free agents on the team, 13 people on injured reserve.
4th and 17 after a 12-yard loss that time. Runniger on a low snap, and he gets it high. This is John Arnold. And Arnold to the 20. Jerry Robinson has him at the 21-yard line. Arnold, with an average of 9.4 on punt returns, stopped immediately by Jerry Robinson, who's just been excellent on the coverage team. There's no score at the 5:14 mark.
It's the Delco Freedom Battery Sale. What do you want from a car battery, America?
Freedom to start in the cold. Thanks, Delco.
And you? Freedom from adding water. Thanks, Delco. Then come on to the Delco Freedom Battery Sale. AZ Delco is making it possible for you to save on the powerful, never-add-water Delco Freedom Battery. At participating outlets when you see the Delco Freedom Battery Sale poster.
Thanks, Delco!
Hey, Les, what are you and Pam up to this afternoon?
Oh, we're just sitting around by the pool.
Jessica, darling, I just saw the most
Later on, why don't you guys come over?
When the people in Long Beach, California make phone calls, their voices are frequently transmitted by the world's first fiber optic telephone system providing regular service to the public. It consists of hair-thin fibers like this one, and the fibers now being installed can actually carry over 600 voices at once.
Gee.
No, GTE.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central.
My high school class is naming me Man of the Year.
And the old flames return to Archie Bunker's place.
How's Edith?
There's the story, 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line after a 33-yard kick by Runniger. You're looking at Keith Dorney, their #1 draft pick, offensive tackle for the Lions, Jeff Tomlow and his team. After not able to capitalize on a fumble recovery, and this field goal of 45 yards, have the ball back. Eddie Scott in motion, give up the middle, and nothing developing on that play because Claude Humphrey was there along with Charlie Johnson. Excellent reaction. I tell you, Bo Robinson just didn't have any place to go.
You know, when you look at this offensive team that they have out on the field, 3 times this year, they've only gone over 20 points, Gary. 3 times. In 5 games, they've only scored 1 touchdown. They've really had some problems offensively. They've lost 8 games by 8 points or less.
189 points. That's all they've scored this year. That's the lowest in the NFL. Second down, virtually 10 yards to go. David Hill, the tight end in motion. Tom Lowe on 2nd and 10. He hits Leonard Thompson. And Thompson at the 27-yard line, dropped by Bobby Howard. Thompson has been a real surprise this year. That's his 23rd catch of the year out of Oklahoma State.
Good pattern right here, coming across the middle. Watch him cut right back across the middle here, underneath the linebackers. And boy, Howard had to come a long way to chase him down.
3rd and 4. Sonny, you have to give credit to the Lions' forward wall. They protected very well on that play.
That's one reason you call short patterns.
This year, the Lions have given up 36 sacks. On a 3rd and 4. Tom Lowe out of Delaware. Back to throw, and he hits his man over the middle again, but it's going to be short of the first down. That's Freddie Scott. Frank Lemaster making the tackle. 4th down for Detroit. Boy, those Eagle linebackers, they are quick and active, aren't they?
Well, they are. They did an excellent job then to just keep them. They had 3rd and 4. They complete a forward pass, and they don't get a first down.
That's John Shira back for this punt from Larry Swider. Swider was picked up when Tom Skladany had to undergo back surgery, and I tell you, they've got a decision to make about him.
From what I understand, Skladany's been punting, is ready to punt, but they have so much confidence in this young man, they said, we can't afford to let him go.
He was a free agent, Tampa Bay. Picked up, he's out of the University of Pittsburgh. A kick being fielded by Shira again, and he is like a riverboat gambler today. That's twice. He's come up on the fly, hit very hard that time by Dennis Franks, his former teammate, who last year was the Special Teams Performer of the Year for the Philadelphia Eagles.
This is John Kruger. He owns a small drugstore in Claremont, New Hampshire, and he bought an IBM computer to help him run it.
Today, with the price of computers coming down the way it has, even a small business like mine can afford one.
John Kruger's IBM computer automatically prints out prescription labels and receipts. It even produces a year-end record of money spent on medication by each customer, and it keeps track of all his inventory.
I found another way to use the computer. As a volunteer fireman, I'm developing a handbook that lists emergency information on every house in town, like the nearest source of water, whether there are kids or old folks living at home, things like that. We've held some practice runs, and we think it's going to save us a lot of time. If you think I'm pleased with the computer, you want to talk to my wife. For the first time in years, I've been getting home before the dinner's cold.
IBM, helping put information to work for people.
Tonight on CBS, catch a brand new edition of 60 Minutes. Then at Archie Bunker's place, Man of the Year, Archie's left holding the bag. And there's more great comedy on One Day at a Time, followed by Alice and the Jeffersons. And Gonzo battles a chicken burger tycoon on Trapper John, MD. That's tonight on
what?
CBS.
A chicken burger tycoon?
27-yard kick that time by Larry Swider. And the Eagles have excellent field position at their own 48-yard line. Leroy Harris right now looks as though the Eagles are going to have a tough time running up the middle. Doug English played that one well. English and Baker on the right side of that defensive forward wall for the Lions. They can play with anybody. Excellent.
Good football players. Excellent football players.
Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. The Lions this year defensively have had a tough time against the rush. They are 12th in the NFC. They're allowing 155 yards a game. As we mentioned last week, they have shut the Bears down. On a 2nd and 9. Baker putting some pressure on. Jaworski stepping up. Purifoy hits him. And the pass intended for Krefli. Jaworski getting rid of the ball as Dave Purifoy was on top of him. You can see the silver rush of Detroit is causing some problems.
You're looking at a good offensive line, but you're looking at people that just do pass rushing as well as anybody. What a classic rush that was to go outside. Stan Walters is an excellent offensive tackle, and Baker is beating him to the passer.
Well, you got two All-Pros going against each other. Walters in the Pro Bowl as well as Baker. It was Purifoy that eventually got to him. Last year, they had 55 sacks. Jaworski to throw on 3rd and 9. Carmichael, And he has a first down catch at the 29-yard line. And he keeps that streak going. He now has a streak at 110 consecutive games with at least one catch. The old record was 105 by Danny Abramowitz that he broke earlier this year.
What a nice throw that time by Jaworski. And Walters did a good job that time on Baker. Baker tried to go inside on the rush. He picked him up, gave Jaworski time to deliver the football.
At the 29, a first down for the Eagles. That was a 25-yard gain that time. Carmichael, what a year he's had. 9 touchdown catches, which ties his career best. On the first down, Jaworski. Intended for Harris. Leroy Harris couldn't find the handle. Again, it was Purifoy and English putting some pretty stiff opposition up front.
And it's something not unusual, Gary, that we've seen Jaworski make some excellent throws up the field. The 2 throws he's had to throw laterally, he overthrew Carmichael the first pass he threw in the game, and then he misses a little easy throw there. They're the kind of things that are just give-ups. They're very easy to complete. Surprised that he missed them.
Well, in that St. Louis game, he started out overthrowing everything. But he has still gotten the job done this year for Philadelphia. 2nd and 10. Baker again putting pressure on Carmichael. What a catch. And that'll be another first down. At the 16-yard line. Luther Bradley defending on Carmichael. I don't know how you can stop a play like that.
Boy, unbelievable throw. Watch this throw right in a crowd. He comes up, but he keeps it high, and Carmichael shows great concentration to come down with it because Bradley was all over him.
Boy, 13-yard pickup, and he's second only to Pete Ratzlaff. As far as career receptions are concerned, as he's gone to 401 in his career. There's the score.
Yeah, the Jets leading Baltimore 3-0. That's in the first quarter.
First down at the 16-yard line. Jaworski, pressure put on. Here they come. This time he gets it to Harris. Harris to the 10. Harris to the 5. He's to the 3. First and goal for Philadelphia. Now Baker eventually making the tackle.
Good-looking play that time. Good-looking play. They roll away from Baker. Watch Baker this time. They roll away from him. He's going to rush into pass at Jaworski and rolled away. He recognizes the play, then has to react to it. Walters again throwing at him. But you're looking at a good football player to chase that all the way down the way he did.
Boy, he gets around, doesn't he? 6'6", 260-pounder. First and goal at the 3-yard line. 7 seconds left in the first quarter. Jaworski gives to Montgomery, and Montgomery didn't get in. And that's going to end our first quarter here at Veterans Stadium. The Eagles are on the doorstep. They can't be more than a half yard away, as we'll return with quarter number 2 as a crowd in excess of 70,000 on hand for this one. This could be a big, big day for Philadelphia. No score, but the Eagles knocking on the door. We'll be back in a moment.
If a man's slacks fit him too close for comfort, if he just can't stand to sit, then he needs Levi's Action Slacks, perhaps the most comfortable slacks a man can wear. The waistband and fabric stretch to give you more room when you need it.
Comfortable? Comfortable. I could sit through a double feature now.
Levi's Action Slacks from Levi's Sportswear, where quality never goes out of style.
Usually people don't change insurance companies to save money. They change because of service. That's why State Farm agents work so hard to be good neighbors. When people have a question, I try to get the answer right away. It's the same with the claim. I make sure it starts out right, so it'll be handled right. Fast and fair. We don't lose many policyholders.
For your life, your health, your home, and your car. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Come to the slopes of Val d'Isère, France for highlights of World Cup skiing and more.
We come back to start this second quarter play. I'm Gary Bender along with Sonny Jurgensen. The Eagles have a 2nd and goal at the half-yard line. No score. Boy, this last drive, you can see how important Harold Carmichael is to this Eagles success story.
2 real big plays. Fine catches, good throws by Jaworski. They need to come away with points.
Trefley and Spagnola, both tight ends are in on this goal line play. Carmichael, or should say Montgomery, taking the handoff from Jaworski, and he takes it in. And this year, Montgomery has 8 touchdowns rushing.
You see him, he goes right over the top. They do a good job of blocking down on the goal line. Excellent blocking down there. Woody Peoples, all of them. Up front, boy, that's where that battle is won when you get in like that.
They have a veteran offensive line. Peoples at 35 years of age. Wade Key at 32.
They're just little kids.
So Montgomery now with 8 touchdowns rushing, 4 receiving. What a year he is having. Tony Franklin to attempt the point after. Shira to hold. Tony Franklin now has hit 28 of 30 PATs in 1979. So the Eagles lead it 7-0. We're just underway, second quarter.
Thunderbird. Thunderbird. Thunderbird.
Spread your wings in the new 1980 Thunderbird. Introducing a Thunderbird of new contemporary size that shows its elegant heritage wherever you look. Outside, inside. Yet it's remarkably priced, and that includes automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, vinyl roof, and more. The new size Thunderbird, a better idea for the 80s.
Sometimes when you're really loaded down, opening your umbrella can be a problem. But not with Totes one-hand automatic. Just push the button, Totes opens automatically, just like that. Look again. Push the button, it's open. And it's big enough to shelter 2. Beautiful designer colors and prints. Totes is windproof, built to last, and it folds fast, small enough to fit in your handbag.
The Totes one-hand push-button automatic. A great gift.
RCA wants you to see the right color. Sunrise over the Grand Canyon. Does your television capture the color in all its intensity, in all its subtlety? Does it automatically show you the right shades of color? If not, wait till you see Color Track 1980. Color Track 1980, with 8 automatic color systems designed to lock even subtle shades of color on track. RCA is making television better and better.
There's the scoring drive. And the Eagles with a 7-0 lead. Tony Franklin to kick off. Ken Calicut and John Arnold, the twin safeties, back for the Detroit Lions. This will be Arnold at the 15-yard line. And he's dropped immediately at the 25, and guess who it was? Al Chesley, the former University of Pittsburgh standout, who's been a real sleeper for this football team. Didn't hear a lot about him, his 11th round draft pick, but he's played well on the special teams. And at the 25, that's where the Lions will have it.
They think he's got a bright future. There's just no room for him to play right now because everyone else is playing so well. We got a first quarter score, Gary. The Cleveland Browns leading the Houston Oilers 7-0. The Oilers could clinch today if they win, but they're now trailing the Browns in the first quarter.
Houston, Pittsburgh, San Diego in the AFC, the NFC, Tampa Bay, and of course Philadelphia could clinch at least wild card berths or victories in this Sunday afternoon's activity. Here's Paul Robinson to the 30. Boy, he got off the mark quickly. Out to the 32, Frank LeMaster made the stop. Paul Robinson, 3rd round draft pick. He was hurt his senior year at West Texas State, but he broke all of Mercury Morris's and Dwayne Thomas's records.
And look at this. The Bears leading Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay could clinch today. 3-yard run. Guess who? Walter Payton for a touchdown. That's in the first.
Tampa Bay could have clinched it last week.
Another score. Pittsburgh now leading 10-0. And there's that Cleveland score. 42-yard pass from Sipe to Mike Pruitt.
Comlow on a 2nd down and 4. He has his man. That's Leonard Thompson, and that'll be a first down at the 45. Thompson going up against Herman Edwards. Frank LeMaster also dropping back. First down Tossed by Comlo.
They say this quarterback is so good. In talking with the Eagle coaches, they feel that that is his strong point. Play action type passes. He's throwing about 85% that type of throw. And you see there, he had it right on the money. He found the opening in the zone, and he hit his man, Leonard Thompson.
25-yard gain to the 43-yard line. Comlo has 20 interceptions. He's tied with Jim Hart for the most in the NFC. He's also thrown for over 2,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. Comlo on the first down. Scott and Bobby Howard had a chance at an interception. Howard upset it himself.
Very dangerous throw, just a drop back pass. When you throw the out pattern to the wide side of the field, the ball has to travel so far. You see how long that ball was in the air. Bobby Howard reacted to it, almost came up with an interception.
Bobby Howard, who has 36 interceptions in his career. He was 8 years with San Diego. He was a starter for 3 years with New England. They signed him as a free agent. He was selling real estate at the time. They are glad to have number 23 on their roster. Second down 10. Comlo is 5 of 7 for 42 yards. Pressure put on this time, intended for Hill. Claude Humphrey came storming through, and Comlo was dumped, and he may have had to hurry that one more than he wanted. Behind David Hill, third down coming up.
He definitely wasn't ready to throw that football then, and it was because of the pressure put on him. He had to deliver before the pattern developed.
This Philadelphia Eagle forward wall has 35 sacks. Hairston with 13. Humphrey with 7. Last year, all year, they only had 29. So you can see how that department is picked up. Dick Vermeil went into preseason training with the #1 goal of improving their pass defense. And they've done it.
You put pressure on that passer, you'll improve your coverage.
Lynn Burnham now has checked in defensively on this 3rd and 10 for Detroit. And it looks like Dennis Harrison fired off. Dennis Harrison, who's usually a defensive end, had moved in on the nose of Wally Pursuit. And he made some contact. Was he drawn off? Did he go off on his own? Cal Lepore and the officials working today's game. Dennis Harrison last week having a little trouble with an ankle in that Green Bay game, but he seems to be healthy today. It's against Philadelphia. 5-yard penalty.
Encroachment, defense number 68, third down.
There's that word again, encroachment, not offside.
It's offsides to me. He's on my side of the football, he's offside.
Well, that changes your call a little bit. You're 3rd and 5 as opposed to 3rd and 10. Thompson, Freddie Scott, the wide receiver. Comlo. He's trying to connect with David Hill, but nothing doing on that play. Did you see Reggie Wilkes run with him out there? We knew he could run. The linebacker out of Georgia Tech was with Hill all the way.
I tell you, did you see Comlo disappear this time as he delivers the football? Watch Dennis Harrison come in. Good pass rusher, really working, doing a good job. Bollinger did a good job blocking him at time, but a lot of green shirts around Comlo.
Carl Hairston did not play last week. The only game he's missed, he's had an abdominal muscle problem, but he, as you can see on that play, is back full steam. 4th down 5. Shira back for this kick from Larry Schweider. Schweider's had a tough time today. A 27 and a 26-yard boot. He's going to try to go for the corner. Shira indicating the fair catch. 2 Eagles are down there in the corner, and that ball's going to be downed at about the 9-yard line. So pretty good placement that time by Schweider. 12:54 left to go in this first half. We'll be back. The Eagles leading 7-0.
When the only sound is the frozen silence of winter, you go to work. Clearing a long, thin slice of track through a land where nothing moves except you. And when you've finally thrown the last mountain of snow back into the sky, you can head for home and Miller time. Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life. America's quality beer since 1855.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller tastes too good hurry through. When it's time to relax, we've got the beer.
Miller Beer.
At the 9-yard line after 29-yard kick, the Eagles with the football and the lead, 7-0. We'll keep you posted. A lot of big games as Dick Vermeil, his team trying to clinch its second playoff berth in as many years. And if they'd win today, 10 victories would be the first time since 1961 they have accomplished that. And a guy by the name of Jurgensen was quarterback that year. Here's Montgomery. He brings it out across the 10, close to the 14-yard line. Doug English made the stop. It'll be second down and 6.
Gary, have some updated scores. The Oilers have tied up the Browns at 7 apiece now. That's still in the first quarter. Earl Campbell ran 11 yards for a touchdown. The Packers, Lynn Dickey getting his first start in a long time, threw a 52-yard touchdown pass to Walter Tullis. That game is tied at 7 apiece.
Tullis, the fastest man on that Packer team. I bet he got there in a hurry. Second down and 6, 12:19 to go till halftime. Montgomery cuts it to the 15, and he brings it out to the 20, and that'll be a first down. And that is what Montgomery is so good at, is cutting back against the grain, as Monty Clark didn't like that run at all.
Well, you can see just what you just mentioned, Gary, the cut-back running ability of Walter Montgomery. You see the play designed to go one way. Look at him protecting the football there as he gets into a crowd of people.
Well, he has 12 fumbles. That's the most in the NFL, but he hasn't fumbled in these pressure games that they've been winning.
Well, and a lot of that had to do when he injured his left hand, and I think that caused him to fumble the ball a little bit. It had to.
7-yard run, producing a first down at the 20, as we now have a timeout called. 11:43 to go in this first half. The Eagles with a 7-0 lead. A lot at stake here in Veterans Stadium.
For those parents who realize that $500 isn't too much to spend to expand their child's world, Radio Shack has the perfect gift. The TRS-80 computer, the most significant investment a parent can make. Programs for your child's education or your business, finance, and home use. Let your children discover tomorrow's technology today. The TRS-80, the biggest name in little computers. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Yo! Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me. He's not too bad, except for those stale clothes. Wonder how he'd look in something fresh like pleated Hager slacks. Or a wool Hager sport coat and slacks. Even a Hager vested suit.
Cantaloupe?
No, let's have a church wedding.
Hager, because looking good makes you feel good.
Boys, this is the express line.
Next Saturday and Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, it's the exciting Mixed Team Golf Championship with top female and male pros competing.
I think Monty Clark has that 2-11 season kind of etched on his face, don't you think?
And Vermeil, just the opposite, right? Animated, having fun, very confident, thinking his team's going to play well today.
As we come back, the Lions asked for that timeout. They have 2 remaining. At the 20-yard line, first down, Philadelphia.
Boy, and the Steelers are getting revenge on Cincinnati. It's 17-0 now in the second quarter.
See Carmichael this time. He's in a wing position. Only one receiver split out wide. That's Charlie Smith. 11:25 to go, second quarter. Jaworski's going to try to hit Smith. He does. Smith in open field to the 30. He's going to bring it out to the 40, to the 42 for the first down. That was an interesting play, Sonny. How they had everything loaded up on this side and went to the far side of the field.
Well, he did. The thing is, he had to be very careful with this football. You see the back going away. Montgomery, he has to throw around a linebacker that time, and he gets blocking. Stan Wallace coming out, throwing a block. Wade Key out in front of the play, and a good piece of running by Charlie Smith.
Charlie Smith now with 24 catches for the year. They're going to mark it at the 41. First down for Philadelphia. Yeah, Smith this time at the bottom of the screen, and Carmichael put out at the top of the screen. 21-yard gain on that play. This is Montgomery. Montgomery all the way out to the midfield stripe. About a yard short of the first down. James Harrell tripped him up. What a tough customer number 31 is.
Boy, watch him find this daylight right here. You see Peoples coming around throwing a block, making a good block on the linebacker, and then Harrell comes over and knocks him off his feet. Good piece of running again.
Sonny, I guess the best way to epitomize how effective Montgomery is, he's 38% of the Eagles' offense.
Well, you don't want to lose that horse, do you?
Came in here just short of 1,300 yards rushing, an Eagle record. Only Eagle in history to have back-to-back 1,000 years. There's Montgomery, and he has the first down. Al Baker made the tackle. A lot of things that's made this Eagle team successful. Number 31 is one of the big reasons. And I think more importantly, Sonny, it's what they talk about all the time, that Eagle personality. They play so well together. They just think they're mentally and physically tougher than the other guy.
They work hard, too. It's the type of team that enjoys working. There are no complainers on this football team. And when you work hard and you go out and play well on Sunday, you don't mind. If you're losing and you've had to work hard, makes it a little tougher.
First down at the 48-yard line of Detroit. Jaworski on the throw on the first down. Quickly, and almost an interception was Jimmy Allen. Jimmy Allen tried to time that. The ball waiting a little too long to get there.
I think you're right. The ball hung a little bit on Ron. He had Crufley open earlier. But watch your throw here. He takes something off because he is throwing down the middle. Just a little soft throw. And you see how close Allen was to making an interception.
Jimmy Allen, he is the leader of that secondary. He has 3 interceptions this year. As we mentioned, he's playing the free safety spot. Usually he is the strong safety. Eagles already with 10 first downs in this game. They have a 2nd and 10. Boy, that was close going either way, wasn't it? Jaworski, pressure put on. Gets it off to Harris, a flag on the play. Harris to the 40, has a first down to the 30, and Harris all the way to the 26. But as we mentioned, a penalty holding against the Eagles. So Philadelphia will have to move it back. Harris seems to be getting more and more confidence every year and every game, because last week the 137 yards, they say he's had to play himself in shape here with Philadelphia since coming over from Miami.
That's right. Little different training camp under Vermeil. He missed that, and since then I think he has improved, and each week he seems to be getting better feel for what he's doing.
Holding, number 72 offense on a takedown or down.
Takedown? This isn't wrestling, is it? What do you mean a takedown?
That was Wade Key. There's the Jets in Baltimore. They're deadlocked. Of course, Burt Jones is out for the rest of the year. 2nd down now, 20 yards to go for Philadelphia. There's Dick Vermeil, his team with a 7-0 lead. A lot of jumping around by the Eagles. 2nd and 20. Hit from behind, that's Bubba Baker again. I really like this Bubba Baker. He is everywhere.
I tell you, he's going against one of the best offensive tackles in football, and he just doesn't quit. And that's the thing that bothers you as a right-handed quarterback, is that man coming from your blind side delivering that football when you know he's back there, but you can't take a look at him, and you got to stay in there and throw the football. That time he just got there in time to knock the ball out of Jaworski's hand.
That's the reason you had, what, 9 operations? Those guys from the blind side?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, I'm full of metal. I got screws in both shoulders from people like him.
From the 42, 3rd down and 20. This time it breaks down again, but he gets it off to Montgomery. To the 45, the 40, and he has a first down. Montgomery to the 35-yard line. So on a 3rd and 20, they get out of it, but there is a flag back around where Jaworski was throwing the football.
I think it's going to be unnecessary roughness on Baker that time for coming in. He hit Jaworski late as he delivered the ball. He kind of got back inside of Walters. It's going to be against the Lions.
22-yard pickup, and they'll tack 15 yards onto that. So they're just short of the 20-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the 6-0 defense. First down.
Roy Jaworski was hit as he released it. Let's pick it up and show you what happened.
Well, you can see right behind Ron Jaworski going back. You think it's fun standing back there when people are coming at you. You see what he does. I think he gets him a little high is the reason they call the thing. Hit him up on his helmet. You can't do that. You have to hit below the shoulder pads.
So 22-yard pickup, a 15-yard penalty, and the Eagles are in excellent field position. 7-0. Philadelphia with the lead. That's Smith in motion. He's picked up by James Hunter. Jaworski wants to throw on first down. Prefley! He almost had it. Keith Prefley, who has 3 touchdown catches this year, having his best year ever, had a real crack at that one.
Boy, he makes a good throw here, just out in front of him, just a hair too much. But he has good time, good protection this time to throw the ball. And you see how close it is to being a touchdown. Is it too far? Oops. Just got one hand on it, didn't he?
Boy, that ball just seemed to kind of fade away there or something.
Well, when you throw him back across the green like that, you got to make sure that you overcompensate and get the ball out in front of the man.
2nd down 10. Prefley had so many big plays this year.
If you don't, Gary, you're making a lot of tackles as a quarterback.
You head to the sideline, right? Jaworski in a throw again. This time it's Carmichael. Touchdown. Harold Carmichael, and that is a career high for him in a season. 10 touchdown catches. He had 2 last week.
I think that's a replay of the same type of pattern he scored against the Packers last week. They put him in a slot formation. He runs the cornerback with a man trying to press. What do? You throw the ball high to Harold Carmichael, and he makes it look easy.
What a day he's going to have. Already 3 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. 13-0 Philadelphia. Remember, on this drive, they overcame a 2nd and 20.
Yes, they did. That big penalty against Bubba Baker really hurt the Lions.
Tony Franklin point after. And Franklin makes it a 14-0 game. And the Eagles, sensing blitzed a wild card playoff spot, have jumped on top 14-0 with 8:20 to go in the first half.
In just 3 years, audio buffs have made Pioneer speakers America's best-selling. Pioneer is also the leader in cassette decks. Over the years, our amps and tuners have received critical acclaim, as have our turntables. So, if you want a hi-fi system that's matched as carefully as it's engineered, get a component ensemble from Pioneer. Because a component ensemble is only as good as the components ensembled. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Good. Now I can go to bed.
No, wait a minute. I want to give you a gift while we're alone. It's something just for you.
A washer and dryer.
Now, come on, will you be serious?
Okay.
All right, close your eyes. Merry Christmas.
Give her a diamond. It's forever.
Well, the Eagles have a 14-0 lead. Franklin will be kicking off to Calicut and John Arnold. Dick Vermeil thought his team would play well, Sonny, and they haven't disappointed thus far. Here's John Arnold. Arnold to the 20, to the 25, 26-yard line. Let's go back now on that touchdown pass to Harold Carmichael.
Watch James Hunter come up. Hunter comes up and tries to play him right at the line of scrimmage. He beats him very quickly because of the big strides he's got. And you see there, perfectly thrown pass. Nothing Hunter could do because the ball is up and away from him.
10 touchdown catches. We said that's a career high in a season for this guy, who's averaged 7 a year for the last 7 years. What a career he is having. 3 for 58 today. Bo Robinson brings it out to the 29-yard line. This Philadelphia team won 6 of their first 7. Then they went into a 3-game losing streak, and Sonny, they had pressure games. They defeated Dallas, St. Louis, they defeated Green Bay. Today, of course, this is a pressure game. Interesting to me how they turned that 3-game losing streak around.
And they seem to play better each week. From what the games that we have seen them in, Gary, they're improving each week. They want to be in the playoffs again. They want to win their division.
2nd down and 7. Conlow, this is Dexter Bussey, and end around reverse to Leonard Thompson. Didn't fool anybody. Reggie Wilkes is back there. Also Frank LeMaster. And you had the feeling that Philadelphia knew that play before it even started.
You're trying to make something happen offensively. You go to gadgets sometimes, hoping to make a big play. Philadelphia stayed at home that time and just waited for the play coming back to him. You can see it. Watch Reggie Wilkes. He stays right at home. What he actually is doing is picking up the offensive lineman coming out to block him, and he realized that the reverse was coming.
Boy, you get the feeling, I said it earlier, that Philadelphia was in the huddle. They were there, Carl Hairston first, and of course Wilkes. And so, as an end result, is now 3rd down and 16 yards to go. 6.5 minutes to go in this first half. Conlow, long yardage. Buster, the intended receiver, John Shira, had a crack at the interception. I don't think Shira saw the football.
Shira is playing the man right here. He's trying to play the back coming out of the backfield instead of the football. If he's playing the football here, he makes the interception because it hits him right in the arms.
This crowd of better than 70,000 is very excited as the Eagles with a 14-0 lead, and to kick the football is Schweider at the 6-yard line. The man who just about had the interception, Shira, back. Shira's had the hamstring trouble. They've had Wally Henry and John Shira hurt. There was some talk that Henry could play today. They were going to take a look at his Achilles tendon problem. Here's Shira at the 45. Flag on the play. Up the middle. He's tripped up. Larry Schweider, the punter, was the only man between him and the goal line. Had Jimmy Stewart not tripped him up. But there is a penalty flag at the 47-yard line.
We may get some kind of clipping on this thing. If they do, this is going to take it back, but the Eagles will still have pretty good field position.
Going to be clipping against Philadelphia. That was a 34-yard punt. I'll tell you, Shira on 3 punts, he acts like he likes to return them, doesn't he?
He does. Wally Henry better get healthy in a hurry.
Dick Vermeil said, all I can say about Shira is that he is a great athlete. And I think that's maybe not giving it the emphasis you should, because what's he do? He returns punts. He can play quarterback. He holds on the placements. It's the 5th back on their nickel defense.
Boy,
Wait a minute, he's pointing at Detroit.
What is this going to be? He's already given a clipping indication. We'll have to get some clarification on this call.
We anticipated the Eagles, obviously, because they were the receiving team. But it's against Detroit. Cal Lepore stepping it up. Here's Doug English asking just what's happening here. Let's listen to him. How do you clip when you're kicking the football?
I don't understand. We'll have to get a clarification on the call. It's an unusual call.
Personal foul on the return number 27, defense of a 1st down.
Okay, well, he gave a clipping sign the first time.
Yes, he did, and he clarified it. Let's take a look at this. I don't know if we can pick up number 27, but we're seeing a good piece of running there, and as you said, a very alert type of play by John Shar that he's made on the first 3 punts.
27 is Luther Bradley. So the Eagles, boy, what a position they are set up in now. It's the 23-yard line.
It was about a 40-yard difference as far as where they were going to have the football.
The Eagles with a 14-0 lead, 6:20 to go in the first half. Crepley dropping out, going in motion. You don't see that very often. Montgomery, and he makes it to the 20 and another flag.
Hey, what, Gary? There is a flag on this play. Could be another holding call. Just looking at the Lions sidelines, Joe Reed, who hasn't played, coming back off of injury, a groin pull. He's had a number of injuries. I think he's warming up to come in and play. think they have to take a look at him, see if he can generate a little offense, because Monty Clark's got to make some decisions about the future of this football team.
There he is, number 14. He was hurt in the first game.
Holding, number 50. Offense, first down.
That's Guy Morris, the center, holding. So that brings it back outside the 30 to the 33.
Hey, things are happening in Washington, D.C. The Packers are leading the Redskins 14-7 now.
Boy, that could be a damaging loss for Washington. First down now, 20 yards to go for Philadelphia. Little delay to Leroy Harris, and Harris isn't going to go anywhere. One reason is Bubba Baker. Bubba Baker, with the quickness that he has for a big man, just kind of danced around the block and made the tackle.
The Lions have played the run pretty well so far. The damage has been on the pass.
Doug English also putting some pretty good pressure on, so a loss back to the 34-yard line. It'll be second down and 22 yards to go. 5:47 at halftime. We'll be going to the NFL today. Brent, Irv, and Jane will update us on some big football games, as we have 19 of the 28 teams still in the running for a playoff spot.
A lot of teams can clinch today, too. Right here, you're looking at one of them.
There's pressure by Purifoy. Jaworski, John Brooks giving chase. Krepley. A flag has been thrown. Hunter defending on the play for Detroit. And it's going to go against the Lions. I'm going to give Jaworski a lot of credit for just getting out of a lot of difficulty.
Boy, he did. Jaworski really showed good speed. He shows that he's healthy again. I think this is going to be an illegal touch. Beyond that 5-yard zone, some contact was made right from behind right there on Krepley, and it may have hurt his concentration.
Penalty gives them the automatic first down, so things are not going well for Detroit.
That type of, he was just trying to catch up with the football and his man that time and ran up the back of the legs of Keith Krepley.
Give Krepley some credit for running around out there and getting open. First down at the 24 of Detroit. Jaworski looking for Carmichael. Touchdown. Harold Carmichael, for the second consecutive week, has 2 touchdown catches, and he made that look so easy.
They had a blitz on. They were in single coverage. You see the linebackers coming. The Eagles picked it up, must have anticipated it right on the money, and he did make it look easy. He beat Luther Bradley by a couple of steps, and that's all you need.
24-yard touchdown grab by this 6'8" man from Southern University. Carmichael for the day now has 4 catches for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns.
What's that? 57 career touchdown pass.
A kick by Tony Franklin, and the Eagles are leading this game 21-0 with 5:15. Well, Dick Vermeil has said that the sign of a good football team is to win big, and they may today.
Here's to good friends.
Merry Christmas.
Tonight is kind of
Thank
special.
you, guys. Where do you think you're going? Merry Christmas.
The beer will pour. Must say something more somehow. So tonight,
Well, it's been a good year. Sure.
Hi, guys.
Here's to good friends.
Good friends.
Can a 1980 Ford LTD priced about $7,300 ride as quietly as a $65,000 Rolls-Royce? Both were tested under identical conditions, over smooth roads, over rough roads, at 20, 40, and 55 miles per hour. And the LTD rode just as quietly as the Rolls-Royce. Incredible? Not for LTD, because LTD is so solidly built, so well engineered. Ford LTD, as quiet as a Rolls-Royce.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, it's highlights of World Cup skiing, plus highlights of the 9-ball pool championship, and a report from Yugoslavia on the Monty Parloff and Marvin Campbell fight.
Nothing as you look at Tony Franklin, who's added 3-point afters. Kicking with a bare foot, it makes you hurt to watch him do that on a day that started at 39 degrees. Ken Calicut trying to come up with a football. He didn't get it. I don't know who has it, but Ken Calicut could not get a hold of that football. Boy, they got it. Detroit came up with it. That's got to be one of the most frightening experiences in the world, to stand back there and can't come up with a football. Let's go back now and look at that touchdown pass to Carmichael.
Watch your linebackers come on the blitz. You see Harrell at the top of your screen. Montgomery picks him up. Then Harris picks him up. O'Neal was coming too. When you got single coverage, you better get a lot of people around a 6'8" receiver. And you see, just beat him on a little quick post, wide open, made it look easy again.
You see that? They had Krepley staying in and blocking on that play. That was Luther Bradley who saved the football for Detroit. Bo Robinson on the sweep. And Robinson will get out to the 13-yard line.
Joe Reed in at quarterback now. They have made the change, trying to generate a little offense here. I don't think there's any pressure here, Gary, on Joe coming into play. Even though they're trailing 21-0, he can just go out, throw the football, have some fun, try to get some points on the scoreboard.
Second down 8. Joe Reed, hurt in the first game, out 10 weeks with severe abdominal and groin muscle pulls. Young man out of Mississippi State, originally a San Francisco 49er, 11th round draft pick in 1971. Reed on 2nd and 8. Intended for Kane, a collision that time with Frank LeMaster. Monday, the White Shadow gets a new star player and a great big problem. Then on MASH, Klinger wishes he had 6 hands. And at WKRP in Cincinnati, it's ratings time, and there's good news and bad news. Then Ed Asner stars on Lou Grant. It's all on CBS Monday night. Going to come to a 3rd down and 8 with 4:55 remaining in this first half, and it's been all Philadelphia thus far. 21-0. The Eagles seeking their 10th win of the year. Let's see if they come after him on the blitz. Reed back, running out of difficulty. Dennis Harrison has him for a loss at the 12-yard line. And that place is in bedlam right now. The fans loving the way the Eagles are playing in the first half.
They call him Bigfoot, number 68. He shows you a big, long arm this time because he has to stretch out to go after Joe Reed. Good play, and as you said, 70,000 people, they smell those playoffs too.
On a 4th down and 10, Schweider will go back to kick from the end zone. It's Shira again. This time he's standing at the Lion, 45-yard line. Shira at the 49. And he'll make it to the Lion 40-yard line, and the Eagles with a 21-0 lead figure they might at least get within the talented toe distance of Tony Franklin.
Well, they get great field position again.
37-yard kick that time. Ken Calicut making the tackle for the Detroit Lions.
Couple of scores here, Gary. Pittsburgh leading the Cincinnati Bengals 24-3. That's in the second period. And the Colts are trailing the Jets 10-3. That's also in the second.
Saturday on CBS, we're going to have quite a football game right here in Veterans Stadium. Dallas and Philadelphia, beginning at 12 noon Eastern Time. Dallas would like to come back after losing to the Eagles on that Monday night game. This is Leroy Harris, and he has a first down inside the 30 to the 29. Boy, what blocking. Now we have some pushing and shoving going on. Petey Payroll and Doug English having an altercation.
Well, the defense really been on the field a long time. Good blocking up there. Boy, did he get buried. And Harris just scooted right through there and picks up a first down.
Petey Payroll is going to drive him right through the surface of this playing field, and that was why they were a little unhappy with each other. 12-yard run just inside the 30-yard line. 3:44 remaining, second quarter. Campfield in the backfield along with Leroy Harris. The Eagles are marching, and they're moving to at least, they hope, a clinch of a wild card berth. Here's Billy Campfield. Campfield picks up close to 5 yards. Ed O'Neill, number 55, making the stop for the Lions. Ken Fantetti. It'll be ringing up a 2nd down and 7.
Boy, the Chicago Bears are taking out their frustration on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lead 14-0 now. The Walter Payton 3-yard run for a touchdown, and then Mike Phipps hit Dave Williams with a 13-yard touchdown pass.
You know, the interesting thing about that, Tampa Bay really only needs to win one of their last 3 to still clinch that Central Division, but they could have clinched it last week, and they could have clinched it today.
And they're struggling.
The Eagles are tied with Tampa Bay with the best record in the NFC, 9-4. Intercepted by Bubba Baker. A flag on the play. Jaworski couldn't find anybody, and he hit one of his offensive linemen in the back. And Baker came up with the carom and the interception.
And I don't think it's going to count. There's going to be a penalty on the Lions.
Isn't that something?
Well, when it rains, it pours. Everything goes against you. What's the old saying? If you had any luck at all, it would be bad. That's what's happening to the Detroit Lions.
I think it was Jerry Sizemore that the ball hit. Have defensive pass interference? Let's wait and see. As Cal Lepore, his preliminary signal indicating that. Boy, that Baker gets around. He came over there and picked off that pass like a cornerback.
He wants to play offense, maybe.
The Lions, they just soon forget this first half of play, I think. Looked like they had the interception. Instead, the Eagles have the football at the 21-yard line. Let's listen.
Straighten this out, Cal.
Illegal contact, 46, defense, 1st down.
That's Jimmy Stewart, a former New Orleans Saint, starting today. Walt Williams had a bad shoulder, so they had to shake up that secondary. They moved Stewart in at a safety spot, moved Hunter to a corner.
And they picked up 2 new players today. I mean, this week, Nate Allen and Don Patterson.
1st down. Just short of the 20-yard line. Jaworski. Campfield and over there trying to come up with the interception. Shaken up on the play. Luther Bradley. That's Bradley, who was over defending. Actually had a pretty good shot at coming up with that ball.
Well, he did, because they were in a zone. He sloughed off. By sloughing off, I mean he lets his receiver go, and he released him to the free safety, and he waited for Campfield to come into his territory. Almost had a chance. Campfield went right under him, and I think he may have hurt his knee going under him like that.
Bradley has 4 interceptions this year, which leads Detroit.
You can take a look at Campfield going out at the top of your screen, the ball thrown. I don't think that Jaworski anticipated Bradley being there, but you see the contact made underneath. It's hard to say what's going to, what kind of injury it's going to be, Gerd, but he came down a long way. May have knocked just the wind out of him. Let's hope it's not serious. They've had enough injury problems.
You know, a statistic that really shows the first half of play. The Eagles have 16 first downs. Detroit has only 2. And a 21-0 lead. Well, the last week of the regular season of play. Next Sunday, look at this action. Los Angeles, Atlanta, the Giants against St. Louis.
New coach there, huh?
That's right. Larry Wilson. And Sonny, you'll be up in the warm climate of Green Bay.
Yeah, and you're going to be down with the golf tournament. Nice, sunny Florida, huh?
That's right. Bob Rowe, our producer, and I will think of you down there.
Hey, thank you. I'll be freezing.
It'll be nice and warm up there in Green Bay. Tampa Bay goes against San Francisco. That's next Sunday. NFL on CBS, and it all starts with the NFL Today. Be sure now to consult your local listings of the game and time in your area.
Another second quarter score. The Jets leading the Baltimore Colts 13-3 now.
So Bradley shaken up on the play. It looks like he might be all right. They don't have very many bodies left in that secondary. They have so many injuries. Walt Williams is in there now. Stewart, along with Jimmy Allen and James Hunter. 2nd down, 10. 2:35 left till the end of this first half. Jaworski, Baker putting pressure on Campfield with a catch, and he's hit immediately. Coming up there was Harrell, number 51. Boy, I like this guy. He's just come out of nowhere to help this football team.
Harrell made a good play that time. The man that made the play originally, though, was Bubba Baker, coming in the face of Ron Jaworski. forced him to throw the ball much higher than he wanted to, had to loft the ball. Therefore, the ball didn't get to Camfield quick enough where he could make a decision where he wanted to run with it.
Camfield looked like a center fielder trying to get under that ball, didn't he?
Yeah, Baker got right up in his face. He had to throw the ball much higher than he planned.
He lost 5 yards on the play as the 2-minute warning is here. A loss back to the 25. It'll be 3rd and 15 for the Eagles when we return.
The world's most advanced twin-blade razors are only as careful, gotcha, as you are. The Norelco rechargeable rotary razor has 36 surgical steel blades, carefully protected by 3 floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave wherever you are, without a nick or a cut. The choice is yours. The close, careful Norelco rechargeable rotary razor, or 2 blades and gotcha.
We challenged hotshot Garland Dwyer with the Mattel Electronics baseball game.
You are off.
Inside, a tiny thinking computer plays like a team of pros. The computer fires a fastball.
Strike one.
Now a curve. It's a triple. Garland's trying to stretch it home.
You're out.
Pocket Baseball, one of 7 sports games from Mattel Electronics.
Hey, who's in there?
Wilbert Montgomery is going to come back into the lineup for Philadelphia. He has 29 yards rushing on 9 carries and a touchdown thus far. The Eagles with a 21-0 lead, and Sonny, a field goal would make a lot of difference at this stage. He's going 24-0 as opposed to 21-0.
Well, you don't want to pass up an opportunity to score points when you're down this close.
So Montgomery is checked in with Billy Camfield. 3rd down, 15 from the 25-yard line. They were just resting Wilbert Montgomery. No injury difficulty. When you're up 21-0, you can have that luxury.
Look out.
He gets it off to Carmichael. Carmichael with another catch to the 11-yard line. He's going to be short of the 1st down. Walt Williams made this tackle, and Harold Carmichael has set him up on 4th down and 1. Now, do you go for it or do you bring in Franklin?
I don't know. I think you might go for it. You've been moving the ball. They're coming in with Spagnola and Harris. Hey, look at this score, would you? Green Bay leading Washington 21-7. Dickey really having a day. A 43-yard pass this time to Andra Thompson.
Well, we saw Dickey last week come out and really spark that Green Bay team, and today he's picked up where he left off. Boy, what a day Carmichael is having. He has 5 catches, 2 touchdowns, a total of 96 yards.
I tell you, the thing that I've been impressed with the Philadelphia Eagles, preparation. They have had excellent preparation. Again, that time, the Detroit Lions came with a safety blitz. And when the safety blitz came, they picked it up. Jaworski was alert. It's something obviously they had been working on.
The crowd here yelling because they just posted that Packer-Washington score. A loss by Washington today and a win by Philadelphia really puts the Skins in some difficulty.
How about if Dallas loses, they win the division?
They win the division. Dallas, of course, playing against the Giants. That game starting later. So they're going to go for it. 4th down, 1. A minute 37 left in the 1st half. They have to make it just about to the 10, just inside it. Here's Billy Camfield, a flag. He obviously has the 1st down, but a flag went into the air. Bob Beeks.
I think that's going to bring on the kicking team.
Bob Beeks, the official, tossing the flag in the air, and it's illegal motion against Philadelphia, so you know what that means. Tony Franklin.
Looked like the right side of the line moved a little before the snap of the football. Costly penalty.
I would say Franklin's percentages are not too bad this year. 17 of 24, longest of the year, 59 yards. He didn't kick one last week, but the previous week he was 3 of 3. He's 3rd in the NFC.
John Spagnola coming in the game for the 1st time on that short yardage play. Didn't pick up the count, left a little early. Cost the Eagles the 1st down. Franklin will have to attempt the field goal.
Franklin third in scoring in the NFC, and this is going to be a 33-yard field goal attempt.
Against the wind, too, Gary.
Boy, it's hard to read the wind here, and I think you're right, though. It will be. It swirls a lot in Veterans Stadium. My foot hurts just to see him kicking in this kind of weather without a sure sock. 33-yard attempt by Franklin, and he got it. Oh, did he ever get it? Right down, dead center, high up. And Tony Franklin has just hit his 18th field goal of the year, which is 10 more than they had all of last year. Well, we were talking about some warm weather. Well, we're going to have the Mixed Team Golf Classic next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern, or I should say 3:30 Eastern and 4 o'clock Eastern. So we'll have Lon Hinkle, the winner of the recent World Series of Golf, and Pat Bradley, returning as defending champions in that 72-hole Mixed Team Classic. 48 teams composed of one member of the PGA Tour and one member of the Ladies Professional Golf Association will be competing. 72 holes in the 4th annual event. Jerry Pate, Hollis Stacy, Ben Crenshaw, Judy Rankin.
Well, that's a nice format, too, isn't it? I enjoy that.
Well, we'll think of you as you're up there in Green Bay.
Don't rub it in.
24-0. Tony Franklin. I'm going to be on the beach and get a little suntan. This is John Arnold. Oh, he's still on his feet. Boy, what a courageous run by John Arnold, a free agent out of Wyoming. And so the Lions will have it with 1:21 left to be played in this first half of play. And this has been, I would say, a productive first half for Philadelphia. Let's go back and show you the effort by Arnold.
Arnold, boy, he really takes a hit here. It looks like he didn't see the man coming down to make the contact. And he breaks back, he comes right back out of it after he makes the initial hit is made on him. He shows good balance right there. You see the hit, and he rolls out of the thing and keeps running with the football, makes a good strong run afterwards.
There's Carl Hairston firing off before the snap.
Yeah, but Baldishwald, I think, picked his hand up. He's not allowed to pick that hand up.
The last drive is only 25 yards in 6 plays. They've been able to capitalize. Time of possession, 2:52. There's your time remaining, 1:21.
Well, these officials have done a good job here in this first half, haven't they? Cal Lepore and his crew.
False start, 76, offense, first down.
You know that John Arnold, we were mentioning him and showing him on the replay. He made the team as a free agent. They had a tryout camp. They call it the Gong Show, and he's the only one they signed. They brought him back, and he's playing. And this is Dexter Bussey. Bussey is out to the 34-yard line. Dexter Bussey dropped short of the first down. Just outside, a minute remaining in the first half. That was Reggie Wilkes who made the tackle. No huddle for the Lions. And their hurry up is Joe Reed, the quarterback. Now has a 2nd and 4. Gene Washington, the intended receiver. That stops the clock with 53 seconds.
This is kind of a tough situation for Joe Reed. I mentioned the fact that he shouldn't have any pressure on him because they are trailing so much right now. But he's showing a lot of rustiness because he hadn't played in quite a while. Kansas City leading 7-0. Rookie Steve Fuller, 28-yard touchdown pass to J.T. Smith.
Just pointed out here, Sonny, that the Eagles' second quarter has been their most productive of the year. They've scored 112 points in the second quarter. Opponents, on the other hand, have scored only 57. Here's Reed back to throw, and Rick Kane can't hang on. And the Lions will kick again.
Good little throw, a little crossing pattern underneath the linebacker. The Eagles playing very loose right here. And you see it's just dropped over. Just lack of concentration.
Swider, he's been busy in this first half. He's already kicked 5 times. He'll be booting from the 19-yard line. Shira goes back for Philadelphia. 48 seconds, still have time. No rush put on. He drives this one way back. Shira getting away from the football, and what a kick this is. The 6-yard line. That ball was powered out of there by Schweider, who was not kicking all that well. You know what that was? 61 yards.
I think it surprised Schauer, too, but he did have the wind with him, and you could tell the way the ball went through there. He just drove the ball, kicked it over his head. Good kick.
You know, Schweider set a Lions record this year with a kick of 72 yards. So a 61-yarder helps that average, which up to that point was not all that impressive. It was a 30-yard average. So Ron Jaworski and his team have the football at the 6-yard line. 35 seconds remaining in the first half. 24-0, Philadelphia.
I think they just want to get into the dressing room right now. Get ready for the second half. Nothing fancy here, no mistakes. Watching them, they'll probably go for the touchdown.
Leroy Harris bounces outside, and look out! He's out to the 20, to the 25-yard line. Everybody was jammed inside, and Harris, who last week set an Eagle record going 80 yards, picks up big yardage. 19 yards on that run.
He really had no design to, he was just trying to get stopped right there to get the clock a win. Everybody get caught inside. He goes outside, and boy, Stewart's got a chase on his hands to finally wrestle him out of bounds.
See, Harris is averaging 4.8 a carry. Of course, an 80-yard run helps that average a little bit. 19-yard pickup to the 25. 27 seconds. Still left to be played in the first half. Here's Billy Campfield protecting the football and moving it to the 29-yard line. And so with 19 seconds, they're in no hurry now. Philadelphia has had to scrape and really scramble to win the last 3 weeks, but today they have a little breathing room at halftime. As this clock will wind down, they will not snap the ball again in this first half of play. And so the Philadelphia Eagles, who can clinch at least a wild card berth with a win today, are halfway there with a good and comfortable 24-0 lead.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
How you holding up?
I'm all right.
You want to go for 10 miles?
If you make it, I'll buy you a beer.
If we make it, I'll buy you a lone brow.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
The 79 Ford Countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you right now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 pickups, $500 on V8 club wagons and vans, $600 on rancheros. So see a Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $500, and $600 better ideas.
If keeping up with your car is getting you down, fight back with STP. STP gas treatment fights to keep your carburetor clean, and that can help keep your engine running like it ought to. Try STP oil treatment. A recent test with older cars that use a lot of oil proved it reduced oil consumption an average of nearly 15% in those cars. Come on, fight back with STP.
I need them all.
24-0, our halftime score. Philadelphia with the lead as Ron Jaworski has hit Harold Carmichael with 2 touchdown tosses of 20 and 24 yards. Montgomery with a 1-yard smash. And Tony Franklin added a 33-yard field goal as the Eagles just dominated this first half of play. The Lions having a difficult time with the penalties. And let's look now, Sonny, around the league, and this is a surprise.
And this is at halftime. Chicago leading Tampa Bay 14-0 there.
Green Bay leading Washington.
2 touchdown passes. Len Dickey, as you said, he came in and did a good job last week in relieving David Whitehurst. He's thrown 2. They lead. That's at halftime right now. It's 21-7.
Washington, kind of hard to figure, and the Jets now have bumped up their lead against Baltimore.
That's still in the second quarter, 13-3 now. And Pittsburgh doing a job on Cincinnati. It's 24-10, and that's at halftime.
Pittsburgh has had a real scare a couple of weeks in a row, and now they have a little breathing room. But Cincinnati, a very dangerous football team, and Buffalo, boy, what a surprise they are. Chuck Knox really has them playing well.
They're coming back now and leading 7-3. That's in the second period. Houston and Cleveland all tied up still. That's at halftime, and it's 7 apiece.
Cleveland seems like every week they have one of those games that goes right down to the end. And St. Louis and San Francisco, and of course the big story there, Larry Wilson, the interim coach, and Steve Pozarkowicz playing at quarterback in place of Jim Hart. And San Francisco starting Joe Montana today. And Kansas City leading Seattle 7-0.
With their rookie quarterback Steve Fuller playing, and he got him a touchdown.
Seattle still has slim hopes of making the playoffs in the West, as they have won 4 in a row. So a beautiful day here, a sunshiny day, a little cold with 39 degrees. As we'll be coming back with more of this game, but right now let's go to the CBS Sports Control in New York as they'll post us on what's happening throughout this league.
Coming up next on CBS, one of 3 doubleheader games. The Atlanta Falcons will be playing the San Diego Chargers. The Minnesota Vikings are in the Los Angeles Coliseum for an appointment with the Rams. And the key attraction, the New York Giants are in Dallas to take on the troubled Cowboys. The Cowboys have lost 3 straight. In fact, you have to go back to this rally for their last victory. 1:21 left. Roger Staubach trying to rally against the Giants. The Cowboys are behind, 3rd and 2. He hits Drew Pearson, first down at the 29. From the shotgun again, Staubach to Pearson, and he gets to the 45. Now the screen pass to Tony Dorsett. 33-yard gain, and Dorsett got down to the Giant 12-yard line. With the seconds running out, Raphael Septien kicked the field goal that gave the Cowboys a 16-14 victory. Now it's rematch time. Tom Landry, how improved are the Giants?
I don't see a real major improvement other than they've won more games. You know, they've lost 1 or 2 along the way too, but they know they can win now, and they're very confident. They're playing very good defensive football. Tampa Bay beat them pretty well, but they did it mostly on passing and turnovers. But they're a good defensive team. Our offense is going to have to play awful well.
Irv, I think we should add that if the Cowboys had lost that game to the Giants, that losing streak would now be 5 because they had lost the week before to Pittsburgh. Now, you have been following the Dallas Cowboys very carefully. What's wrong with the team this year?
You know, I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with the team, Brent. They're still a great football team, but in the last 5 games, the Cowboys have turned the ball over 13 times and only taken it away once. And you can't win with that kind of football.
All right, how do you like today's game against the Giants? Will they come back at home, or still more trouble ahead for them?
They're going to have trouble on the hands of the Giants because the Giants have a championship defense. They are a quality defensive football team, but when the Cowboys have their backs against the wall, you know, you have to go along with them.
All right. Irv, there's one other player that I want to mention in the National Football League. You saw him in action on Thursday night. He's been a long-time star around the league. Then he was a bench warmer until the second half, and out he came again, Bob Greasy, directing the Miami Dolphins to a come-from-behind victory over the New England Patriots. This one to Tony Nathan, then you'll see the touchdown pass to Nat Moore. Forget the stats. Bob Greasy was benched for Don Strzok, and he handled it like a gentleman. And when the time came, Greasy was ready to do the job. He has been knocked by broadcasters. He has been knocked by other quarterbacks. But he demonstrated once again that he is an extremely high-class human being. Now let's send you back to the stadiums.
24-0 our score at Veterans Stadium as Eagles with 17 first downs, Detroit with 2. The NFL on CBS will be back after this word from your local station.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central.
My high school class is naming me Man of the Year.
And the Old Flames return to Archie Bunker's place.
How's Edith?
This is CBS.
Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have run into big trouble in their attempt to wrap up the NFC Central title. Again today, Doug Williams is off. He has completed only 3 passes in the first half, 3 interceptions, and more kicking woes for John McKay. This punt was blocked by Chicago, and Lee Coons fielded the bouncing ball, and this set up the Bears' first touchdown of the afternoon. They went to Walter Payton, who scored for the 60th time in his fabulous career for George Halas's franchise. And a little bit later, here's one of the 3 interceptions. But this is a marvelous catch by Gary Finsick of the Bears secondary, a diving effort. And from there, Mike Phipps was able to march the Bears down the field and go to Dave Williams, who ran this pattern from his fullback spot. They went to Walter Payton expecting the run. He hit number 22 for the touchdown, and as they get ready to start the third period, it is 14-0 Chicago. Irv, how about the Eagles?
Oh, the Eagles look awfully good. Of course, you know, head coach Dick Vermeil said the one thing the Eagles have not yet done this year is totally destroy a weaker opponent. Well, the score is 24-0 at halftime right now. Over the lines are halfway there. Jaworski throwing 176 yards in the first half for 2 touchdowns. Hits Harold Carmichael right there in the first quarter. Montgomery coming back in the second quarter going over for a touchdown. The Eagles lead 7-0. Jaworski with the hot hand going to his hottest receiver, number 17. Another touchdown, 14-0 Philadelphia over Detroit. Again, late in the second quarter, Jaworski going up top to number 17 once again. Another touchdown pass, 5 catches for Carmichael today, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Right now, the Eagles lead by a score of 24-0.
Remember Lynn Dickey came out of Kansas State, an All-American quarterback, went to the Houston Oilers. He dueled Dan Pasquarini, one injury after another, went to the Green Bay Packers. Watch what he did today after Joe Theismann put the Redskins ahead with this touchdown pass right here. It was 7-0 Washington over Green Bay. But now it is Dickey who is directing the Packers instead of David Whitehurst. First he hit Walter Tellis, 52-yard touchdown, and the Packers had tied the Skins at 7. Then Joe Theismann underthrew a receiver. After the interception, Dickey marched the Packers 80 yards, and Simpson dove in for the touchdown. Time running out in the second period, and back went Dickey. Thompson broke long, and he hit him for the bomb, and it is 21-7 right now in the third period. Green Bay leading Washington. All right, the New York Jets this afternoon are having an easy time over Baltimore. It is now 20-3 at half. Richard Todd just ran in from 2 yards out earlier. He threw a 3-yard scoring pass to Barkham in that game. Pittsburgh ahead of Cincinnati 24-10. Matt Barr has kicked a 43-yard field goal. Lynn Swann is having a marvelous afternoon for the Steelers. He caught one 58-yard touchdown pass from Bradshaw. He is completely healthy now. Buffalo leading Denver 7-3. Chuck Knox and the Bills are always tough at home. Houston and Cleveland in the snow in Cleveland are tied at 7. Yes, Earl Campbell scored again, 11 yards out for the Oilers. San Francisco and St. Louis, of course, the Cardinals under Larry Wilson rather than Bud Wilkinson today, and they are scoreless in the first. And Kansas City has now gone ahead of Seattle by a score of 14-0. And, of course, the Seahawks are one of the hottest teams in football. But in Kansas City, well, it is the youngster by the name of Mike Fuller who has cooled them off considerably. Let's send you back to the stadium now.
I never worry about what brand name part my mechanic puts on my car. That doesn't make me a bad guy. I go to a professional mechanic I can trust, so I trust the parts he uses. He uses Mopar. It means nothing to me, but it means a lot to him. Mopar fits all American-made cars, foreign cars too, and they're used by professional mechanics all over the world. If the professional trusts Mopar, I trust Mopar. Does he make me happy? He makes it his business.
Trust your car to Mopar.
Trying. By trying harder to save you money, Avis introduced low See America rates.
Keep on trying, America. The effort is really everything. We keep on trying, America.
Because we keep trying, more Americans can afford to see more of America.
At Avis, we don't give up. Trying.
They call it the city of brotherly love. But I like to think Philadelphia is a United Way city. How about you, Brooks? What does United Way mean to you?
Learning to swim at the Y.
How about you, Kim?
It means the Girl Scouts, Dad.
I'm John Bunning of the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is my family. You might say that we're a United Way family. We've all been helped by the United Way. But as volunteers, Renee and I have seen what United Way does for so many people, both in the city and in the suburbs. It helps people in distress. It helps the whole community. It helps people of all ages, all walks of life, rich, poor, every race and every creed. Because there are people who care. United Way works here in Philadelphia. It works in your town, too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us. The United Way.
United Way.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Let's join Sonny Jurgensen.
Here we have with us Gary Danielson, who was injured and tore up the ligaments of his right knee in the last exhibition game. It had to be a disappointing year for you, Gary.
Well, it has. Well, I don't call it tore up. I just a slight sprain, but a little bit of tear, you know. But it's been a long season, Sonny, and you know, we got to work hard and come back a little bit, and it's been a long season for me especially.
Could you have come back and played?
Well, I don't think so yet. You know, I'm running pretty well, and I don't seem to have my full speed back yet, but it's coming along real well, and I'm starting to work out with the team now.
A lot of people already, Gary, are picking the Detroit Lions to win the NFC Central Division next year.
Well, that's nice. We were picked this year, too, though, you know, and things happen, but, you know, we've got a good team, and things have gone against us this year, but I'm sure we'll come back.
Well, I'm sure all the Detroit Lion fans are looking forward to having you back next year. Good luck to you. Have a good offseason.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready to go with the second half of play. As kicking off will be the Detroit Lions. Benny Ricardo, 24-0. It started to snow now. We're expecting snow flurries throughout the course of this game. Ricardo to kick off. First half dominated by the Philadelphia Eagles. That's Billy Campfield. Campfield on the sideline, a flag on the play. He brings it out to the 40-yard line. Look at the stats, Sonny. This will show you how the Eagles dominated this first half.
Boy, they dominated it in every way, as you can see. 17 first downs to 2, 230 total yards to that troubled Detroit Lion offense, only 64.
Well, a penalty going against Philadelphia. We've had a lot of penalties in this game. The first half of play seemed like every time the Lions would have something go their way, they had a big penalty that would go against them. Let's see what this one's all about. It's got to be clipping.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 59 on the returns, first down.
Well, I was wrong on that. That would be Al Chesley, who was guilty of the personal foul, and instead of the 40-yard line, they have the ball back at the 20. Montgomery and Harris are in the running back field behind Jaworski. This is Harris, and Harris going to get a couple of hard-earned yards. Doug English made the stop. Well, the thing to watch today, two other games as far as the Eagles are concerned. Washington losing to Green Bay. You saw the highlights of that at halftime. And, of course, Dallas later against New York. If things continue the way they are and Dallas would lose, can you believe it? The Eagles would wrap up this Eastern Division.
Remember, I gave you that Kansas City-Seattle score of 7-0. It's now 21-0 in favor of Kansas City.
Well, that's a shocker. Seattle's been a hard team to figure, haven't they?
Up and down.
Second down and 8 for the Eagles. Up the middle, Montgomery spun around, and look at the resourcefulness of him. A flag and a whistle blown. Well, that's interesting. Why'd he stop running?
I think that it was a whistle had already stopped the play, and he didn't pick it up till the end.
There was a flag that went into the air, and let's look at it again.
It's a funny-looking little play here. The draw going up the middle. See him following Petey Payroll. He comes back out and spins out, but the play had been blown dead.
They got him by the face mask. But that may not stand because they may have blown the play dead first. Well, let's see. Here we go. 15 yards.
Let's see if we can pick up this face mask. Try to take a look at it. We get the call here from Cal Laporte. Here's the face mask right here. Reaching in, had him by the face mask. Doug English was the guilty party.
So they now have the ball at the 42-yard line and a first down. Montgomery in that first half only had 29 yards rushing on 9 attempts. You know, he's had 6 100-yard days. Here he comes again. And he gets across the 45 to the 47-yard line. The wind blowing all kinds of debris around. It's getting colder, I believe. Al Baker made the stop. The second down now, 5 yards to go. The snow has come down at different times throughout the course of this game.
And it's getting colder.
But the Eagles are warmed up by that 24-0 score.
I tell you, the Lions look like when they're going to stop them, they make a mistake, and the Eagles got another break there on that face mask penalty to keep the drive alive.
Smith, Carmichael, flank out. On a 2nd and 5, Montgomery goes nowhere this time. 71, Dave Gallagher, former Michigan All-American, who, by the way, is going to medical school now at the University of Michigan. Eventually be a doctor. In fact, the Lions have 2 men in medical school. The other one is Scott. He wants to be a veterinarian. Both of them playing in Detroit and going to the University of Michigan. Third down and still 4 yards.
I'd like to play the violin, but I can't.
Could have fooled me. Carmichael and Smith again flanked out. Campfield in the backfield this time with Montgomery. Pressure put on by Doug English. Jaworski. Did Campfield get it? He did.
And Jaworski is hurt. Jaworski's down. He's getting up slowly.
Boy, he is. He's limping around. That was Doug English that hit him. We had something on that football, and here comes Jaworski off. And boy, with a 24-0 lead, I'm sure Vermeil's saying, oh man, maybe I should have gotten him out of there, but you still want to start that third quarter effectively.
Well, you have to. You can't take any chances there. It's like either knee or something. Let's hope it isn't serious. As far as the Philadelphia Eagles are concerned.
John Walton would come in. That was a 13-yard pickup on that catch by Campfield. Campfield did a pretty good job on locating that football because the defender was up in front of him, but he still caught it.
Jaworski's trying to stay in the game. Is he tough?
Well, you know,
he was walking back to the huddle.
Remember earlier this year against St. Louis, he hurt his leg and came back in and played the second half. He's played with a broken finger. He's had all kinds of injuries this year, but he's been there when they've needed him.
Boy, he made some kind of play to get that completion to Billy Campfield.
So John Walton will come in. Let's go back and look and see how he got hurt.
You'll see he's running to his left. Doug English chasing him, and you see right there, he goes at him low, probably catches his knee, hits that ground. We'll try to get a report and find out exactly what it is, but look at the completion.
John Brooks was the man defending on the play. Now Walton comes in. He's thrown 25 passes, completed 13. You might recall that Monday night game, he threw a 29-yard touchdown pass against Dallas. He's the quiet one, always seemingly ready when they need him. He comes out, completes to Smith. Smith to the 35, to the 30, a flag on the play. A first down run, but a flag back at the 37-yard line. Boy, Walton comes off the bench, cold, I'm sure, and he comes out and throws a pass.
He did it against Dallas, too. It's good to get that first completion under your belt, but this one isn't going to count.
Holding against Philadelphia. John Walton, limited action. He had only 4 games that he appeared in a year ago. Had only thrown 29 passes in the last 3 years. So this year, he's already thrown about as many passes that he had in the previous 3. And Washington now coming back.
Joe Theismann hit Danny Bugg's 8-yard pass. 21-14. That's in the third period now.
Boy, the Redskins can't lose that one. They would be in a tough situation if they do.
Holding, 75. Offense, first down.
That's Stan Walders.
And Stan had release to try to block on the cornerback on that quick screen to the outside receiver.
At the 47-yard line now. First down and 18 yards to go. Montgomery and Harris in the backfield. Walton gets off to Montgomery. Montgomery, another flag, 2 flags on the play. You know, last week, the Eagles had 11 penalties for 108 yards. And we're having a lot of penalties in this game against both ball clubs.
No, there was not only 2 flags, there was one on the other side of the field, too. There were 3 flags down on that play. And it's going to be on us, on the Philadelphia Eagles again.
Wait a minute, tackling by face mask against Detroit, holding against Philadelphia. That'll be offsetting penalties.
Gee, a lot of penalties, huh?
Cal Lepore gets his hat knocked off that time as Doug English motioning to the far sideline hit him with his forearm.
Okay, Cal, straighten us out. Let's see what's wrong.
Face mask. Offense.
Defense.
Take it off. Face mask. Defense. Holding. Offense. Wipe it off. Same down.
Look, he was as confused as we were.
Just forget that last play. So it's still first down, 18 yards to go. 12-14 to go, third quarter. The Eagles lead it 24-0 as they, in the first half of play, played like Dick Vermeil thought they would. He just knew they're going to play well. That says something about Coach Vermeil. Reads his team very well. Quick pitch to Montgomery. Montgomery all the way to the 35, still on his feet to the 30, and he has a first down. Wilbert Montgomery on a 1st and 18 call just wouldn't go down. Hunter is shaken up for Detroit. This guy is quite a runner.
What a play. You think he's not going to get any yards. Jerry Sizemore, Woody Peoples out in front. Pretty good block there. Charlie Smith trying to block. Stewart runs by him. Howell runs by him. And he keeps fighting, trying to pick up that first down, and he does.
19-yard pickup. Sets it up at the 27. How many times have the Eagles come from long yardage situations? 2nd and 20 for one touchdown drive.
Number of times a day, right?
Yep. 1st and 18, and they get it. Jaworski's up and moving around on the near sideline. Looks like he wants to come back in. Here's Walton giving off to Harris. Harris inside the 25 to the 23. James Harrell making the stop. Going to mark the ball just about the 23-yard line. Jaworski wants to go in. He's over there visiting, or was, with Dick Vermeil.
He's trying to be seen to the coaches, isn't he?
John Walton. You look at the stats on Montgomery with 54 yards. Well, what a year Montgomery has had. You look at the fact that he's already set club rushing record on carries as well as yardage, breaking Steve Van Buren's record. Every time he turns around, he's breaking one of Van Buren's records. 2nd down, 6. Walton, the flag, hits Smith. No, he can't hang on. But again, a flag went into the air as Walton that time was dumped. Doug English and James Harrell went after him. Well, we were mentioning that injury of Jaworski against St. Louis. He re-injured that same leg. But he came back in that game, and they have taped it up, and he could be back in.
This is going to be one of those illegal touches downfield. Boy, they had a blitz on, and right as he delivered it, you saw how he got hit. And Smith almost came up with a great catch.
Boy, the penalty situation on Detroit.
Illegal contact. 28. Defense. First down.
That's Hunter, the guilty party. Sets up a first down for the Philadelphia Eagles. .24 to go, third quarter, at the 18-yard line. Harris, the only set running back. Now they jump around. This is something the Eagles the last 2 or 3 weeks have been doing a lot of. Here's Walton giving to Montgomery. Montgomery to the 15, to the 14-yard line. And so it's going to come to a third down.
Hey, what? He's having to earn all of his yards today. He had one 20-yard run, but he's having to pay the price to gain some yards. This time, Stewart forces a play back in, turns it back in. A lot of white shirts around the football, and they make the play. Hold him to a short gain.
2nd down now, still, I think I said third. 2nd down and still 6 yards to go. Leroy Harris checks out of the lineup. Billy Campfield replaces him. Trepley is flanked out, as is Carmichael. Smith at the top of the screen, split out. On a 2nd and 6, almost intercepted by Ken Fantetti. A rookie from Wyoming. Man was open over the middle, but he reached in and almost had it.
You know who was wide open? Was Carmichael was wide open in the end zone. Play may have been designed to go down the middle like that, but he had Carmichael open on the right side in the corner.
Looked like he was trying to throw to Montgomery, though, rather than Carmichael on that play. But anyway, Fantetti bats it down, and it's 3rd down and 6.
Boy, they're scoring some points. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. 31-17 now, Pittsburgh leading.
At the 15-yard line. Walton to Montgomery. Montgomery hit by Baker. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and that means Tony Franklin. Franklin already has kicked a 33-yard field goal today. Gyro will hold, and here he comes. Can you imagine running on this surface with the weather the way it is today? Incredible. This is probably the coldest day of the year. I think it's colder here than it was last week in Green Bay.
Definitely. And with that wind, the chill factor's got to be something too.
This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt. Franklin looking for his 19th of the year. Franklin hit it, and he has another 3 points to his total. And the Eagles now lead it 27-0. So Tony Franklin, who has scored the last 6 points for this Philadelphia football team, as the Eagles are cruising along 27-0.
Those headlights coming towards you, believe it or not, can actually help save gas, as much as 0.2 of a mile per gallon. Developed by the Sylvania lighting people, these special energy-saving halogen headlamps were put into practical use on one of the 79 model cars. And they're being used much more extensively on the 1980 automobiles.
Gee.
No, GTE.
When you shoot a lot of pool and bars, you want to stay fast and loose, and you don't want to get filled up. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. Got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. Plus, the taste is great. And even though a lot of people don't think pool is strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Next Saturday and Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, it's the exciting Mixed Team Golf Championship with top female and male.
Had a difficult time earlier in this game fielding a kickoff, has this one. And he's across the 30 to the 32-yard line. You know, we were talking about penalties earlier. Detroit has 6 penalties for 66 yards. The Eagles 6 penalties for 55 yards. That's a lot of penalties.
A lot of penalties, that's right. The Eagles kept the ball a long time on that last drive.
6:14.
6 minutes, 14. That's something they've been able to do throughout the year.
Well, I tell you, when you're at least clinching a wild card berth, you do a lot of things right, you know? And that's just one of the many things that this Dick Vermeil team is doing very well. They're a fine team. Here's Joe Reed back to throw. He has Scott wide open. Scott at the 30. Scott to the 20, and Wilson rams him out of bounds. Freddie Scott. And boy, they picked up some yardage in a hurry. That'll be just outside the 18-yard line.
Well, what a beautiful play this is. Reed really makes an excellent throw here. Has it way out in front. You see how badly Freddie Scott beat Bernard Wilson then.
40-yard pickup just inside the 19-yard line. Boy, that ball was well thrown, wasn't it?
And Wilson injured his leg a little bit. He came off the field, and John Shara has gone in at free safety for the Eagles.
Bernard Wilson, who has 4 interceptions this year. What a story he is after being cut last year, coming back to start every game for the Philadelphia Eagles. After the 40-yard completion, the Lions trying to get on the scoreboard. Here's Rick Kane, and Kane tough sledding to the 17. Pickup of 2. Frank LeMaster making the stop. Also Claude Humphrey. This Eagle defense, Sonny, 5th overall, 5th against the rush, 7th against the pass. They've played tough in every phase.
Been impressive, and especially with the injury to their leader, Bill Berge. See what a job they've done. Totolo starting in his place, and then along comes Jerry Robinson, who steps in and does an outstanding job.
There's the stats on Reed. That 40-yard pass completion bumped it up a little bit. Totolo started 7 straight, then Robinson inherited the job. Robinson made a big defensive play last week against Green Bay. Robinson can't hang on. And who has the football? I think coming up with it is David Hill. Hill has it for Detroit. Bo Robinson never had it.
Lost a handle on the pitch out here. It's just a pitch back to the fullback. Ball hit him on the hip, took his eyes off of it, and a loose ball. And again, David Hill very alertly comes up with it.
Going to lose some yardage, though, to bring up third down now, close to 15 yards to go.
I was just getting ready to say it, you know, after that 40-yard pass, if they could get a couple of quick scores, get back into this football game in a hurry.
John Bunning comes out. Frank LeMaster checks out. Richard Blackmore has come in. He's the rookie from Mississippi State. Third down, 14 yards. The official ruling now on this down and distance. Reed in trouble. Claude Humphrey gets away from him and gets rid of the football. Claude Humphrey had him and let him go. He's upset. Oh, is he ever upset at himself?
He misses that sack. Now, see, this is a situation, in the opinion of the official, he is not in control of Joe Reed. He never has him in control, and that's why the whistle was not blown. He comes out and throws the ball away and saves a lot of lost yardage.
Joe Reed at 6'1", 190, pretty strong guy, staying away from Humphrey. Humphrey afterwards hitting himself on the helmet, and that means a field goal attempt of 40 yards by Benny Ricardo on fourth down. This would match his longest of the year if he hits it. Scott Hunter holding, and it's going to have to hurry. It's not going to make it. So Ricardo, who earlier in the game missed a 45-yarder, has missed a 40-yard field goal. And so with 6:41 left to be played in the third quarter, the Eagles still lead it 27-0.
Get ready for the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford pickup. 1980 Ford test trucks got over 1 million total miles of testing here at Ford's Arizona Proving Grounds over torture tests like steel-lined potholes and Power Hop Hill. This 1980 Ford pickup has new aerodynamic design, the best gas mileage rating of any American-built standard pickup. Carries a big payload, too. See the first new truck of the 80s. It's built Ford Tough.
At American, people are the difference. Last year, over 200,000 people applied here at the industry's first flight attendant college.
And Vicki Getz is one of the few we accepted. We taught her to make your flight comfortable, reliable, and enjoyable.
But we didn't have to teach her to be nice.
We're American Airlines, and finding people like Vicki is one of the things we do best.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
Well, tonight on CBS, be sure to catch a brand new edition of 60 Minutes and at Archie Bunker's place. Man of the Year, Archie's left holding the bag. There's more great comedy on One Day at a Time, and then that's followed by Alice and the Jeffersons. Gonzo battles a chicken burger tycoon. Pepper John MD tonight. Ron Jaworski has come back in at quarterback. This guy is a tough customer. He's been hurt quite often this year, but each time he's come back into play, and he's done that now as he gets to Montgomery. Montgomery zips out across the 25 to the 28-yard line.
They obviously feel, Gary, that they're not taking any unnecessary chances using Jaworski with a lead like this.
That 40-yard that 40-yard completion, I may have shaken them up a little bit. As you figured, had they gotten in there, could have changed the complexion of this game.
Well, if you get a couple of quick ones, you know how quickly they got theirs and how easy the touchdowns came to Philadelphia. The same thing can happen for the Lions.
Second down now, 4 yards to go. Montgomery has 70 yards on 16 carries. Here he goes again. And there he goes out across the 35 for a first down to the 37-yard line. Jimmy Allen caught him, and did you see how quickly he got into the secondary?
Well, I think he's saying, I didn't do such a good job in the first half. I didn't have a lot of yards. Cuts back, good blocking. Well, he runs by two people right there, and Allen has to chase him down from behind.
First down at the 37. Montgomery comes out. Camfield checking in. It's a 9-yard run by Wilbert.
What's he got now, Gary?
79 yards. There's Jaworski's stats. 2 touchdown passes to Harold Carmichael of 20 and 24 yards. Here's Campfield. Campfield has a block, and he has the first down, but there's another flag. Good block thrown on that far side. Let's see who the flag's against. Guess who? Philadelphia.
Dick Vermeil is hollering at the official. What is this holding? Every time we block somebody, you call it holding.
Well, we have a report on Bernard Wilson. As you recall, he was hurt on that long pass completion. Hurt a foot. He will not return. It's expected that John Shira will check in for him.
Let's see who they got this holding call on. It looked like it was away from the point of attack.
Holding, 62. Offense, first down.
It's Petey Payroll. He's been playing in place of Wade Key. Hey, there's Bird Brain.
What? Bird Brain?
That's right. He is not the mascot of the Eagles, but he's fast becoming very popular. It's Dean Schoenwald. He's an 18-year-old man from Avalon, New Jersey. He paid $1,200 of his own money to design that costume. Bird Brain. He's become a real fixture here.
Bird Brain, huh?
First and 20 after the holding penalty. Here's Jaworski. Up to Harris. Harris to the 33, maybe the 34. And a flag. John Brooks made the stop. We're going to have a personal foul. Yep. Somebody came in a little bit late on Leroy Harris.
Took a little elbow at him as he was going down. We might be able to pick this up just as he's hung out, stretched out, and they got him tied up a little bit. Going to the secondary receiver here. Just a little outlet pass, swing pass. Blocking out in front of him, Peoples, Morris. He cuts back. Now watch this, see if we can't pick it up. He's holding on. Uh-oh, Bubba. I think Bubba came in from behind to an elbow.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 6-0, defense, first down.
Well, Sonny, I guess when you're 2-11, you're a little frustrated, right?
Exactly, frustration, and they've been on the field a long time. They haven't been in any way encouraged by their offensive show, and that defense has been out there playing a long time.
4 minutes, 53 seconds still left in the third quarter. 27-0, Philadelphia. They've added 3 points here in this third stanza. Back to throw, Jaworski. Jaworski, Harris. Harris on the rebound, another flag, believe it or not. To the 48-yard line, but a flag clear on the other side of the field.
Well, he loses handling. I don't think he expected this football to come to him, Gary. You see him, it looks like Jaworski's going to throw one way. Ball bounces up in the air. Fortunately for the Eagles, it comes down in Harris's hands, but we got another penalty, and it's going to be called back.
Another penalty against the Eagles. That'll be the 9th penalty of the game against them.
Is this going to be another holding?
You got it.
75, offense, first down.
Stan Walders. Well, they've gotten both sides, or both men on that side. Earlier it was Payroll, now it's Walders. Two guys playing alongside each other. One reason that's happening is that's where Mr. Baker resides, along with Doug English. They're double trouble for any offensive line.
Pittsburgh leading the Bengals 34-17. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
First and 20. Jaworski back. Krepley. He dropped it. Keith Krepley made so many big catches this year. Couldn't stay with that one.
Well, what a good pattern he ran to get open, and he's disappointed in not making that reception.
You know, in 1961, Sonny, the record for, should say 51, the record for penalties for combined teams was set by Cleveland and Chicago. They had 37 penalties. Now, what do we have here today? We have 9 and 7. That's 16. So we have a ways to go.
We're a long way away.
Boy, can you imagine that? 37 penalties.
Tell the guys to clean up their act down there.
Second down now, and 20. One of those two teams had 22 of them. That must have been a 5-hour game. Jaworski on the 2nd and 20. Krepley again, and he has this one. and he stays on his feet. There's a flag, however, as Krepfle's inside the 25-yard line, but another flag on the play. Jimmy Allen is shaken up for Detroit. Krepfle held on to that one. What an effort by him.
I think this is going to be on the defense. It's going to count. Oh, what a good effort. As you're right, Jaworski had to reload. Look at Carmichael standing there watching him, and then he picks up a block, and the play is going to count. Going on the defense again is probably
holding 53. Defense, penalties declined. First down.
That's John Brooks. You know, that catch that went for 37 yards gives Krepfle for the year 7 pass receptions for 30 or more yards. That's something for a tight end.
Well, he finds that opening in that zone. Very underrated tight end, I would have to say.
Krepfle for the game. 2 catches thus far. So for the year, he has 36. Here's Billy Campfield. He fumbled the ball, but it got out of bounds.
Nobody around him, and he fumbled the ball.
Krepfle with 2 catches for 53 yards today. Ken Fantetti over there. Let's go back and see what happened on him.
Yeah, watch this. He dips in. He looks like he should go inside. He runs around, but watch him just lose a handle on the football right here. Nobody around him. Hey, where'd that thing go?
Well, you know, and it's cold. I suppose you don't have the feeling in that hand that you'd like to have, huh? Do you ever have trouble? What would you do on a cold day like this?
Pray and try to keep warm as best you could.
Second down. 6 yards to go.
I don't take the cold weather very easily.
I noticed all the gear you got on today. There's Payroll firing off. He made contact with Doug English. I've never seen so many penalties as we've had in this third quarter. False start on Payroll. That'll be a 5-yard penalty against Philadelphia.
Well, you can see it on the left side of your screen. Watch the offensive line. He'll go before the ball is snapped. There he goes. Oh, he made good contact, didn't he?
Start 62. Offense, second down.
You know what was interesting about that is as soon as Payroll moved, did you see how quickly number 60, Bubba Baker, jumped over? Oh, was he quick off the football and quick on any movement?
Well, Payroll, their second-round draft pick out of Northwest Louisiana. He started a few games this year when Wade Key was out. Key was out for 6 games. They didn't expect him back this year. Went on the injured reserve list, healed quickly. Key started today, but Payroll now playing. Second down now, 11. Carmichael and Krepfle both there, and nobody can get it. Both Krepfle and Carmichael in the same vicinity, which I don't think was the way it was designed. Let's go back and see this tipping drill.
Boy, you're talking about a tipping drill. I think Jaworski a little bit late with the football getting it there because almost intercepted should have been. It got through the hands of Jimmy Allen. But look at Carmichael. 2 hits, 1 more hit. He's thinking about staying in bound and couldn't quite do it. Well, what a catch that would have been, huh?
I tell you, our director, Jim Silman, had that all the way on that replay.
He amazes me every week.
Oh, I know it. For an old man, he's not bad, you know?
That's right.
Third down and 11. Krepfle, Carmichael, Smith, all split out. Harris, Campfield, the running backs. 27-0 Eagles, and they're trying to get more. Hit as he threw the ball. Nobody close to that as Jaworski dumped, getting up. I think it was Mr. Baker again.
He's there every time, isn't he? I tell you, Stan Walter's got to be glad when this game is over with that he doesn't have to face somebody like Baker each week.
Well, here comes Franklin again. He's 2 for 2 today. You know, Baker last year had 23 sacks, which led the NFL. He's been double-teamed, he's been triple-teamed, but he still has 12 sacks.
You know that he has 35 sacks in the 28 games he's played as a professional.
Second-round draft pick of a year ago.
The Jets are leading the Colts 20-10. That's in the third quarter now.
42-yard field goal attempt by Franklin. He's hit one of 30 and 33 thus far. Franklin has it high enough. It's good. It just made it. That ball had a funny look at it. It started up funny. Looked like it was not going to have enough distance, but it got there. And Franklin is 3 for 3, and it's 30-0 Philadelphia.
How many times have you wanted to pack it all in and take off? Well, with Hertz economy fares, the time to go is now. Our subcompacts are only $14.95 a day, weekends, and just $98 a week. All with free mileage. Larger cars are only $1 more a day. And if you rent for 3 weekdays or more, Hertz has special economy fares for that, too. Hertz economy fares. Now you can't afford not to rent from number one.
Take care of your car at Kmart. Our automotive service centers care.
Shop for Christmas at your Kmart Automotive Center. Save up to $39 on an auto sound system. For just $96, you get an AM/FM stereo radio with 8-track or cassette, plus a pair of great sounding 5-inch or 6x9 coaxial speakers, all for $96 at Kmart Automotive Centers across the U.S., where quality car products are Kmart priced.
On the CBS Sports Spectacular, it's highlights of World Cup skiing, plus highlights of the 9-ball pool championship, and a report from Yugoslavia on the Monty Parloff and Marvin Campbell fight.
Tony Franklin to kick off, 3 for 3, has 20 field goals for the year. The Eagles are 1 point away from having their highest output of the year. 30-0 they lead. Kick short, and the Lions are just going to fall on it. Dennis Franks had it first, and then Fantetti fell on it. Let's go back on this last field goal, Sonny. It had a funny look, didn't it?
Well, I think it's because of wind, Gary. The ball gets up and sits up there right over the goalpost, and because the wind just grabbed it, it just cleared. You look at the official under the goalpost ducking. He actually ducked to make sure he was going to get over the thing.
That almost hit that upright, didn't it?
It did.
So from the 34-yard line, Detroit has a football trailing. As you see that last drive, trailing 30-0. Joe Reed on first down. Hairston puts pressure on. Scott again. Boy, I tell you, Hairston hit Joe Reed as he released the ball, and he really felt it.
That same type of pattern that Scott ran before and almost came up with a play again.
One of the most interesting plays of the game, though, was that tipping drill in the end zone. We're looking at it again where Carmichael tried to come up with it.
Well, it touches the defender, touches Allen first, then Kreppley gets a hand on it. He tips it up, and then Carmichael once, twice, not quite.
Here's Reed back on 2nd and 10, a little short. Intended receiver is Horace King at the 44-yard line.
Boy,
look at this now, all tied up.
39-yard touchdown pass by Joe Theismann to John McDaniel. They're in the 4th quarter now.
Well, if it comes down to a field goal, Mark Mosley's the man you'd want in that situation. The Jets now continue to mount their lead over Baltimore. Third down and 10 from the 34-yard line. The Lions, who shut out the Bears last week, are in danger of being shut out themselves the way this Eagle defense is playing. Reed delivers the ball to Ulysses Norris, and what a collision. Ulysses Norris, a rookie from Georgia, and he's not getting up very quickly. That was Bobby Howard, 23, who collided with him. Norris is their 4th-round draft pick, who has 3 catches this year.
The ball, just a little turnout pattern by Norris. But when the ball gets there, that zone and that hole in the zone is closing down in a hurry, and good contact there jarred him loose from it.
Back to kick is Schweider at the 19-yard line. Shira standing back inside the 35 of Philadelphia. 3.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 30-0 Philadelphia. Beautiful kick. Shira trying to get over there, and that one's going to go out of bounds at the 26.5-yard line. That will be a 40-yard kick by Schweider. And so the Eagles will have the football as we check to see who the quarterback will be. It's going to be Ron Jaworski. We'll be back in a moment.
After all these years, I still like working out. But what I really like is the beer that's waiting for me when it's over. And if you work out the way we do, there better be a lot of beer waiting. That's why we drink light beer from Miller. Light has 1/3 less calories than regular beer, and it's less filling, and it tastes great. Take it from a guy who works out a lot. Could really use one right now.
There you go, Bruce.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Melvin Stark, CPA, is about to break free. In Ford Mustang, a sports car for the 80s. Mustang performs and handles like a sports car. Precise, sure-footed, yet Mustang delivers the mileage of an economy car. Mustang, a sports car for the 80s.
Gal, we're stepping out tonight.
Melvin, is that you?
Yep.
Yes.
With Sonny Jurgensen, I'm Gary Bender, and we have 3:28 remaining in this third quarter of play. The Eagles having a fine afternoon with a 30-0 lead. Ron Jaworski's stats showing you some of that success. 233 yards. And the fumble on the play. And it looks like the Lions have it. They do. Jimmy Allen has the ball eventually across the 35-yard line. That's the way the Eagles started this game, with the fumble.
Here, take a look. Watch him lose a handle on it. Right here, he gets the ball. Petey Payro coming across trying to make a trap block. Kind of knocked it loose, and then a mad scramble for it. Jimmy Allen comes out with it.
So the ball will be marked just inside the 35-yard line. And the Lions now, they'd like to get on the scoreboard. Gene Washington, the bottom of the screen, split out, joined there by Freddie Scott. Reed back to throw, has time. He has Scott wide open, touchdown. Freddie Scott, who earlier grabbed one for 40 yards, has this one, and the Lions are on the scoreboard, a 34-yard touchdown pass.
They've been successful with this same pattern each time, just a corner pattern from the inside man. Scott, he went in kind of a slot formation and really made it look easy. Watch it. No problem with the pattern. That's the third time they've had the pattern open. He's missed him once. Look how open he is behind John Sharp. Freddie Scott for the touchdown.
Scott's having quite a year. That's his 5th touchdown catch. Today he's 4 for 91. So he has 54 catches this year. Benny Ricardo, point after attempt. And Ricardo makes it a 30-7 game. And so they strike in a hurry, don't they?
Well, they took advantage of that turnover, didn't they?
And I would imagine Dick Vermeil squirming just a little bit. His team now leading 30-7. You have guys like Scott, big playmakers. I guess you're never comfortable yet.
And the Redskins have taken a lead. They're 28-21. Theismann has thrown his 4th touchdown pass in that game. 12:35 left in the 4th period. Cleveland Browns leading the Oilers 14-7. Mike Pruitt on a 1-yard run. That's in the 3rd quarter. And the 49ers leading the St. Louis Cardinals 3-0 on a 23-yard field goal.
That's quite a game. That San Francisco-St. Louis game, starting different quarterbacks. Montana for the 49ers, Pizarkowicz for the Cardinals. That drive didn't take very long, did it? 7 seconds. First downs in this game, Sonny. Are you ready for this? The Eagles have 24, the Lions 3.
Oh, unbelievable. They have had the problem scoring. I think Reed has done a good job since he's been in, when he's been given the time to deliver the football.
And so now the Lions, with Ricardo kicking off from the 35-yard line. Back deep is Billy Camfield for Philadelphia. Lions this year have had trouble scoring points, had only 189 coming into this game. This is Camfield. Camfield, look at this guy move, would you? 40, 45, 50, to the 40. Ricardo trying to make the tackle. Camfield, he's got to take it all the way. Touchdown. 92 yards. Billy Camfield.
What a run. tell you, he showed me some speed that I didn't realize he had.
And now officially, I believe, we're going to check it. It's either 92 or 93 yards. They say it's 92 officially.
You can see the play designed to go to the left. Look at the wedge over to the left. He cuts back, gets outside, and he shows me some speed and a good piece of running here to avoid Ricardo. Right there, he cuts out, gives him a little stiff arm down the sidelines. Nobody else gets a hand on him.
Well, he led this team in kickoff returns last year. He was averaging almost 29, and I think that'll help his average a little. Franklin, the point after. Shira to hold, and the Eagles have recouped that touchdown in a hurry, haven't they? 37-7, the most points they've scored in 1979. The most points previous to this game was 31 points against Dallas in that Monday night game.
And listen to the crowd, huh?
We've had some fireworks today, most of it coming from the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, let's look ahead to the next game for the Philadelphia Eagles, Sonny. That's on a Saturday, starting at 12 o'clock Eastern, as the Dallas Cowboys will be coming here in Veterans Stadium. You don't think there won't be some excitement in that game? Oh. It all begins with the NFL today with Brent, Jane, and Irv, along with Jimmy the Greek and Jack Whitaker. And then other action following the next day. We have Los Angeles going against Atlanta, the Giants, St. Louis. You'll be in Green Bay for that Bear-Packer game. And Tampa Bay, San Francisco. And our producer, Bob Rowe, and myself will be down in Largo, Florida at Mixed Teams Golf Classic. Here's John Arnold. See if he can return one himself. John Spagnola's back there, and a tackle inside the 25-yard line. So the Detroit Lions, after striking, all of a sudden find themselves still down by 30 points.
I tell you, if I were the Lions, I'd go back to that same pattern that Freddie Scott's been open on all the time.
You got something to work. Stay with it, right?
Stay with it. Make the defense stop it.
Joe Reed will bring him out. Aldishweiler, Elias, Pursuit, Olinger, and Dorney, the offensive line in front of him. Pursuit, the guy who's taken over since Larry Terry retired at center. And a whistle, somebody moving up there before the ball was snapped. Look at Billy Campfield, a happy young man from the University of Kansas. This young man, last year leading them in kickoff returns. Their third leading rusher. He started 2 games last year for him. He runs a 4.40, Sonny, so that speed he showed us is legitimate.
I didn't realize he was that quick.
You know, the kickoff return record for the Eagles, 105 yards by Timmy Brown. The fans here yelling their #1, and nobody can dispute that right now. They're in first place in the NFC East. First down, 15 after the false start against the Detroit Lions. 2:45 to go, third quarter. Reed hits Forrest King, and King is hit by Frank LeMaster. Detroit, by the way, as we come to a second down, is 0 for 9 on third downs today.
You don't think this city will be pumped up next Saturday for the Dallas Cowboys coming into it?
Of course, Dallas with a big game today, starting later against the Giants. They're trying to break a 3-game losing streak. This NFC East has really been an interesting year. Who would have figured St. Louis would have the problems they had, but Washington would play as well as they did, and then Dallas would have a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, and look at this team we're looking at right here, the Detroit Lions. They were picked to win their division.
2nd and 14. Ulysses Norris, he's gobbled up in a hurry. The ball, I thought LeMaster's going to come up with the ball, but it was Jerry Robinson that made the stop. And now we come to the third down, and this is the stat we mentioned earlier. The Lions have not been able to convert any of their third downs thus far. They're 0 for 9.
Dick Vermeil's got to be thinking save some of these points for next Saturday.
John Walton is warming up down below. I would imagine we won't see any more of Jaworski.
Probably not. No need of taking a chance any further with his injury that he sustained today, the ankle.
Joe Reed, who threw his second touchdown pass of the year earlier, hitting Scott for 34 yards, gives off, he crosses him up. Horace King comes firing out of there, and he's close, but I don't believe he got the first down. Very surprising call on 3rd down and 9. King comes roaring out of there. They're going to be short. It's 4th down. Jerry Robinson again making the stop. There's John Walton. Look at those gloves he has on.
I told you these players were sissies. They were tough in my day, Gary.
Tough or stupid? Which?
A little of both.
All's fair right on the sideline. Anything you can do to stay warm. They're going to go for it on 4th down.
Why not? Why not?
Bo Robinson coming out. Horace King comes out. They're going to check in this time with big Lawrence Gaines. Gaines is at fullback. Good short yardage man, along with Dexter Bussey. They're going to give to Bussey. Bussey has the first down and then some. Dexter Bussey all the way out across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Surprised they went outside, but they got it.
Well, Homer Elias does a good job this time getting out leading the play. Look at him out in front of Bussey, and Bussey kind of holds on to him and says, I'm going where you're going. Stay right with him. Good job of blocking. Good piece of running. First down for the Lions.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter here at Veterans Stadium. With the score, the Philadelphia Eagles 37. The Detroit Lions 7. We're now paused for a word from your local station.
Tonight, Gonzo fights to save a derelict's life, while Trapper John tries to save Gonzo's career on Trapper John MD tonight.
This is CBS.
We have 15 minutes left to play at Veterans Stadium. And this partisan Eagles crowd very happy about the first 3 quarters of play as the Eagles lead at 37-7. We come back. It's a first down for Detroit. They have the football at their own 47. Bobby Howard was shaken up. He's been taken out of the game, and Richard Blackmore, the free agent rookie out of Mississippi State, has replaced him at left cornerback. Shira's in there also. Shira came in when Wilson was hurt earlier. So 2 of their defensive secondary starters are out with injury. Here's Reed back to throw. Caught Humphrey has him, and Humphrey has his 8th sack of the year. Humphrey earlier let him get away from him, made sure he had him that time.
Well, you see that you're talking about the personality of this football team. Humphrey goes in and makes this sack. The first man to congratulate him and get him up, Carl Harrison. Look at him. Watch 78 come in there. He comes right in behind him and says, what a great job you did.
Well, it's 21 sacks between those 2 guys. 7 for Humphrey. At the 41, a loss brings up second down, 16. A loss of 6 on the play. Horace King and Dexter Bussey, the running back. Scott in motion. Reed, he's going to run it to the 50, and he makes it to the 48-yard line. And a long ways to go. He had 16 yards to go for the first down. Frank LeMastro over to make the tackle.
Well, he said, and look, here comes Humphrey on the inside this time. Nobody outside. I'm going to run with the thing. Had a blocker out in front of him, Horace King, but not enough for the first down, but he did salvage the play.
So Reed getting a lot of playing time here today after being hurt this year. Last year he was the 3rd man behind Danielson and Landry. Didn't play as Monty Clark his 2nd year.
Monty had mentioned down on the field, Gary, before the game that he had planned on using Reed some today because he has to make some decisions about the team next year.
3rd down, and Reed's in trouble. He runs out of some of that difficulty, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Bobby Howard's had some difficulty with the knee, and we understand he's re-injured that. And so he's not in there now. There's Reed. Reed's got pretty good mobility, doesn't he?
He does. Carl Hairston was a little upset that he didn't get the sack that time. I think maybe Humphrey, when he started scrambling, Humphrey did get him again, but it's 4th and about 2.5, 3 yards, and they're going to go for it.
There's Bobby Howard. Yep, this will be the second time they've done that. Earlier they had a 4th and 1 and made it. Now 4th down and a good 3 yards to go. 12:54 left in this game. Scott in motion again. Reed delivers the ball to Scott, and right on top of him was Blackmore. No, Shira. John Shira. Very timely hit that time by Shira. Scott had held on. He had had a 1st down catch.
More than anything else, he didn't throw the ball hard enough to get it to him. He was a little underthrown. Shire comes up and makes the hit.
Now, the best Zenith ever, System 3, is even better. Even better. The sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. An all-modular chassis, designed to be the most reliable Zenith ever. Most reliable. And now, better sound. 4 speakers. Audio jacks, even an audio control center. Better sound. Zenith. System 3. System 3. Now, even better.
Look what's happened to home heating and air conditioning costs. Up and up. Up over 80% in 5 years. But there's a way you can fight back in your attic. Add another layer of pink Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. Ask your dealer or contractor how much more you need. Fight back against rising fuel costs. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
So it's going to be a 1st down for Philadelphia at the 47-yard line with 12:43 to go in the game. John Walton is the quarterback. Second appearance in the game for him. Jaworski will retire and get ready for Saturday's game with Dallas. Montgomery nowhere. The reason? Bill Gay, who was a 2nd-round draft pick of Denver in 1978, a former tight end that's been moved to defensive end, made the tackle.
You know, they hadn't planned on playing Gay an awful lot this year. They just wanted him to gain some experience at defensive end, 6'4", 240. But with the injuries they've had and the problems they've had, losing Gallagher earlier, and then Cleveland Elam, he's had to play a lot, and he's done a pretty good job. He's got 5 sacks.
John Woodcock also was hurt. The back operation. Gay needs to gain a little weight. That's what they're trying to do, get him beefed up a little bit. 2nd down, 12 yards to go. Montgomery to the 50, 45, to the 42. That'll be a 1st down. Montgomery fast approaching a 100-yard day as James Harrell made the tackle for Detroit.
Again, when he cuts back, watch him, because he had fumbled. See him cover up the ball with both hands right there as he got into traffic. Good, smart runner. What's he got now, Gary?
90 yards. That was a 13-yard run. So if he could get another one, that would give him 7 100-yard days this season. And that would be a record. He has the record of 6. Liberty Bells today, you got to keep moving on the sideline to stay warm today. Gerald McRae has now checked in at wide receiver for Philadelphia. Montgomery, and nothing on this play. Good reaction that time by Bill Gay again. William Gay played at USC. He didn't throw to him much at USC. A little trouble hanging on to the football, so they decided to put him on the other side of the line and let him go after the guy with the football.
You're talking about McRae coming in at wide receiver. I don't think he's caught a pass this year, has he?
No, he hasn't. 2nd-year man out of Tennessee State, a former 5th-round draft pick of Kansas City in '78. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Walton to McRae. There's his first catch of the year. But they don't get anything out of it. They may have lost a yard. Al Baker over there. Let's check that Steelers-Bengals game, and Pittsburgh's putting them away.
Boy, they are 37-17 now. A lot of field goals in that Matt Barr. I can count here 1, 2, 3 field goals he's had so far.
Well, that win would clinch Pittsburgh a playoff spot. Houston, Pittsburgh, San Diego can do that with wins today, as well as Tampa Bay and, of course, the Eagles here. Third down now, 12 yards to go. McRae, Trepley, also Scott Fitzke, their rookie out of Penn State, is in the lineup. 5th round draft pick. Montgomery to the 40, and he drags tacklers inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. What leg drive by this little guy. He's not that big. 195, 5'10", James Harrell, Al Baker wrestling down as you look at John Walton out of Elizabeth City State. 4th down, and guess who's going to come in? Tony Franklin. All he's done today is hit 3 for 3.
He's got a long one this time, but he does have the win with him.
On a 4th and 6, the Eagles will attempt the field goal. Franklin has 20. You know what the record for a year is for the Eagles? It's 24, held by Tom Dempsey. I would imagine that record is going to fall before this season's over.
Good possibilities the way this young man can kick it.
This is going to be a 55-yard field goal attempt. Franklin powers it. And it's no good. It's wide left. A 55-yard attempt. His longest, of course, this year was 59 yards that he hit on a Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys, the 2nd longest in the history of the National Football League.
What comes out of a loudspeaker is only as impressive as what goes into it. Pioneer's HPM speakers have a unique super tweeter that breathes to produce incredible highs. Its driver delivers remarkably crisp mid-range. Its bass you not only hear, but feel. So instead of sounding great on part of the music, HPM speakers sound great on all of it. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
You're in the auto supply business? I'm in the auto supply business. You're in construction? I'm in construction. Chemicals? Me too. See, I'm really your branch office. Wherever your business travels take you, I'm already there. So you can confirm appointments, handle orders, check on shipping, keep everybody happy. Oh, excuse me. So remember, wherever you need a branch office, I'm your branch office. Use me.
Saturday and Sunday, December 8th and 9th, the battle for NFC playoff berths continues. When the champions are crowned, you'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, the Washington Redskins coming from behind, and less than 4 minutes to go. They have the lead over Green Bay. Another come from behind win for them.
21 second-half points for Washington.
It's 1st down for Detroit at the 38 after a missed 55-yard field goal attempt. Here comes Rick Kane. And Kane's not going to make it to the 45. Jerry Robinson over to down him there. 8.5 minutes left in this game as Joe Reed has thrown a 34-yard touchdown pass. Came in early in this game for Jeff Comlow. And kind of getting some of the rust out of the throwing arm. Been a disappointing year for Reed, his injuries, and of course for the Lions. And Monty Clark giving some people some playing time. Ulysses Norris has seen some time at tight end. He's still in there. Reed back to throw. Dexter Bussey can't hang on. That would have been a 1st down catch. Frank LeMaster. LeMaster really plays the pass well, doesn't he?
I think all their linebackers, that's one of the strengths of this team. The mobility, agility of that linebacking core. And they lost a great one in Berge, but they move around back there well.
Did you see Berge today? Came to the game in a big van, his family with him. Came rolling up here. Still can't recognize him without that beard. 3rd down. Still 3 yards to go. Thus far, Detroit 1 of 13 on 3rd down conversions. Bussey again. And did he get the 1st down? It's going to be close. Bussey hit by LeMaster again. I don't know. Well, they'll go for it if they don't. They have nothing to lose. Horace King indicating they got the 1st down.
Another score in that Washington Redskins-Green Bay Packer game. It's now 31-21. Mark Mosley kicked a 33-yard field goal with 2:30 left in the game.
They didn't get it. 4th down. Well, Washington with that win, they'll be 9-4. They'll still be a game behind this Philadelphia team. And of course, next week, Dallas, Philadelphia go after it. It's going to go right down to the last week, isn't it?
It is. That's what they wanted. And the parity they've worked for, the balance, the way they've rescheduled the games, all of this has helped and has kept interest in football. And then I think it's been good for the players, where so many teams have that opportunity to get into the playoffs.
Next week, Dallas, and then Philadelphia finishes up on the road in the Houston Astrodome against the Oilers. They'd hate to have to win that to win the division. 4th down, less than a yard to go. Reed trying to sneak it. LeMaster has him, and I don't think he got it. Frank LeMaster, who's been all over the place, somehow fired across the line and wrestled Reed down. I don't know how he got over there so quickly.
I tell you, no indication has been made whether he picked it up, but the Lion defense is on the team and the Eagle offense is on the team.
And they held him on a 4th down. Oh, wait a minute, they may measure. I think Cal Lepore says, let's be absolutely sure. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring the chains in. Let's look and watch LeMaster 55.
I don't think they anticipated LeMaster coming through, because the guard tried to double team on the man on the center. And boy, he comes in a hurry, and does he get some help? I don't think he picked it up. Yeah, they actually lose yardage.
Sure did. But I think Detroit asked for, and you have to give them the measurement if they want it. And so 4th down, they don't get it. Philadelphia has the football. 7.5 minutes remaining. The Eagles lead it 37-7.
Introducing the 80 Ford Courier. Based on EPA estimates, it could be like money in the bank, because Courier is the gas mileage champ of the best-selling compact pickups. Yes, based on EPA estimates, Courier gets better gas mileage than any of the other bestsellers. Courier gets better gas mileage than Chevy Love, better than Datsun, better than Toyota. The tough Ford Courier. It could be like money in the bank.
You know, for too long now, bowlers have been left out of light beer commercials, and football players have been grabbing all the glory. But bowlers know light beer from Miller tastes great. We know light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. We know light's less filling. Bowlers love light just as much as football players.
That's right.
And we also love the easy opening can.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Dick Vermeil's team on their way to their 10th win. That'll be the most since 1961. And Monty Clark's team on their way to their 12th loss of the year.
Boy, if you don't think pictures tell the story, one smiling, one frowning.
Well, with a healthy Gary Danielson and maybe an outstanding running back that everybody expects them to draft on the 1st round, they'll be right back in it, Sonny. 1st down, Philadelphia at the 47 of Detroit. And guess who fired off again? Peter Hayrow. He and Doug English have been having quite a confrontation. I think it shows some respect for English. Hayrow's been ready to move.
False start, 62. Offense, 1st down.
Doug English last year played in the Pro Bowl. First time he's ever played in it. 50-year man out of Texas. He's the leader of that front four, even though Baker has the better statistics. English is a very stabilizing force in that forward wall. 1st down and 15. Walton, Montgomery. He's going to have a 100-yard day, or very close to it with that run. Makes it to the 41-yard line. Boy, he took a pretty good shot that time from Jimmy Allen.
I think that puts him over the 100 mark, though.
It will. 107 yards for the day. His 7th 100-yard day.
Oh, watch it. He wanted that 100-yard, and he's paid the price for him. There it is, right there.
Now, he had the team record. He set it last year and tied it, of course. with 6 100-yard days, and today a new Philadelphia Eagle record, 7 100-yard days. He now has 14 in his career. Larry Barnes, ball jarred loose. Very alertly picked up that time. Larry Barnes had it batted the other way, and Louis Jamona was the guy who alertly came up with it.
Now here's a case of guy coming in, Gary, that is very cold, hasn't carried the football, comes in, and right away he gets hit, not used to that contact, and loses a handle on it.
Well, that means 3rd down now, and still 4 yards to go.
And you can believe it is a little colder down on that field than it is up here in this booth.
Don't remind me. The actual attendance here today, 66,128, but it was a sellout. On a 3rd and 4, whistles blowing everywhere. Another flag on the play.
We're going to have a delay penalty here.
They didn't get it off in the 30 seconds, so the 30-second clock has run out. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. It's one of the few things the Eagles haven't done right today.
I would think that Vermeil would have to be concerned with the number of penalties his team has had today, because you can't afford that when you're playing a team that you're playing even against. You can't afford to stop your drives, make mistakes like they've made. He's got to have some concern over it.
We have a personal foul coming up against Detroit. That flag's clear in the secondary where it was thrown.
The play hadn't started.
How do you have a personal foul when the play didn't start? We're going to find out.
We might have a bad language call.
Delay offense is a disregard. Personal foul, 71, defense, 1st down.
That's Dave Gallagher. What that does is that takes precedent over that other penalty. And so the 15-yard step off to the 26-yard line. 11 penalties against Detroit for 105 yards. 1st down at the 26. Jamona, Larry Barnes, a running back behind John Walton. Here comes Jamona. Jamona inside the 25 to the 23. Well, Dick Vermeil has a short week to get ready for next week's game. Of course, a day early on Saturday, and he's resting a lot of his regulars now. I think his biggest concern right now has to be whether Howard and Wilson, the secondary people, how seriously they've been hurt today.
That's true. He's got Rufus Mays in now, 11-year veteran out of Ohio State at left tackle in place of Stan Walters.
2nd and 8 as you look at Dick Vermeil. 5:22 left. Here's Jamona. And Jamona to the 22. Doug English made the stop. Well, Dick Vermeil, the first year, directed this team to a 4-10 record. They were 5-9. Last year, 9-7. And now, at this point, we'll go to 10-4. At Washington, they scared them a little bit, but that's about all. They kind of got their offense untracked at RFK Stadium.
Ike Forte, a 20-yard run. Now 38-21. They came alive in that second half, didn't they?
Amazing team, the Redskins. They'll go to 9-4. Should say 9-5. And what's the problem here? Walton. Looks like he may have fallen on the ball, though. Had a lot of mishandled snaps from center. Walton comes up with the ball inside the 25.
Well, this is where a point in the game where you don't want to get sloppy. Let's see who comes up with it right here. Looks like Walton did.
So that's going to bring up a 4th down and 8 yards to go. And I don't see Tony Franklin.
Here we do have a final. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati 37-17.
What's that? Their 11th win now, and they have clinched at least a wild card berth. So they're going for it on 4th down. They did not bring in Tony Franklin, who is 3 of 4 today in the field goal department. Give it off. Barnes, and Barnes is close to the 21, and Detroit will take over. Doug English making the stop. 3 minutes, 54 seconds left at Veterans Stadium. Lions with the football, but trailing by 30 points.
Marge? Marge!
In here, dear.
Oh, wait till you hear what I want for Christmas. I saw it at Sears Auto Center today. Their best timing light on sale for $29.99.
Oh, that's nice, dear.
Right, I could tune up the car, maybe save some gas. Marge?
Yes, dear.
Sears has a battery charger on sale, too. $19.99. I could sure use that this winter. Do you hear me, Marge?
A timing thing and a battery gadget. I hear you, dear.
Sears, where America shops for value.
Another super value from Sears.
We just got this 19-inch Sears color TV on sale for only $399.95.
You saved $60, and it's great. You just push a button to change channels.
And it's got electronic tuning,
With no moving parts to wear out?
automatic light sensor, and one-button color.
I love it. For only $399.95, you can just push a button and goodbye football.
Sears, where America shops for value.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central.
My high school class is naming me Man of the Year.
And the old flames return to Archie Bunker's place.
How's Edith?
Sonny, how's this for a lineup? Monday night, the White Shadow gets a new star player and a great big problem. Then MASH, WKRP in Cincinnati, and Ed Asner stars on Lou Grant.
Well, good lineup, huh? Great shows.
It's Monday night. First down at the 21 for Detroit. They take over on downs. Joe Reed back. Rick Kane. Rick Kane going up as Terry Tatalo defending on the play that time. Dick Vermeil looking around. Boy, he has to be happy with what's happened since they went on that 3-game losing streak. This will be 4 in a row for the Eagles. And they get ready for the Dallas Cowboys Saturday. They've already bested their winning record of last year. Monty Clark, on the other hand, on their way to their 12th loss. They have Green Bay coming up, the last game of the year.
Houston had a chance to wrap it up today to get into the playoffs.
Reed picked off, intercepted. That's Chesley, Al Chesley with the interception. His first of the year. He's inside the 10-yard line. Al Chesley, the rookie out of the University of Pittsburgh, an 11th round draft pick. And the Eagles have a chance to add some more to their point total.
I mentioned Cleveland having it, the Houston Oilers having a chance to wrap it up. They didn't because Cleveland beat them 14-7. Let's take a look at this interception. Chesley back. Good range, goes up. Good height for a linebacker. Makes a big play.
And so that will set it up at the 8-yard line. Well, Pittsburgh now a game ahead of Houston in that AFC Central. 26-yard return that time by Chesley.
That keeps Cleveland still alive, too, doesn't it?
Boy, they've lost some tough ones, and they've won some close ones this year. First and goal at the 8-yard line. 3.5 minutes left in the game. 37-7 here, the Eagles. Jamona to the 5. Second and goal there. Well, the other thing to be decided in the NFC East is that New York Giants at Dallas game, and most of you will be seeing that game right here on CBS.
Gary got another final here, too. Tampa Bay ends up losing 14-0 to the Chicago Bears. The Bears bounce back after their treatment on Thanksgiving Day by these Detroit Lions.
Boy, that was a costly loss for Chicago, wasn't it? Because they would be in there with 9 wins if they hadn't lost Turkey Day. Touchdown pass. A flag is thrown. That's Gerald McRae with the catch. We're waiting on the official ruling. Was it a touchdown? None yet. McRae upset.
McRae went right up the tunnel, didn't he?
He sure did.
He disappeared from the playing field.
Here comes the determining fate of that play. It's defensive pass interference, but McRae caught the ball. Maybe he wasn't in bounds.
Boy, that illegal touch again, huh? They were making contact.
Pass interference, defense, 28, first down.
Well, evidently, he wasn't in bounds when he caught it.
Watch your contact. Watch James Sonny. Makes contact right here. Had his hand on him. You see the official going for the flag.
He didn't have both feet in.
Nope, did not.
First and goal at the 1. Dick Vermeil, look at the smile on his face. He's enjoying this one, isn't he? Walton giving up, and Larry Barnes takes it in for the touchdown. Larry Barnes scoring his first touchdown of the year behind Petey Payroll, the rookie guard. And it's now 43-7. Let's go back and look at it again.
You can see the job Payroll does right here, coming out, making the block, and good hard running by Barnes. And this has been an impressive performance.
7 seconds, 2 plays, 8 yards after the interception by Al Chesley. And it's a very, very happy Philadelphia Eagle football team. How about this? On 60 Minutes, a black school teacher running for local office is charged with kidnapping on the eve of the election. And even the alleged victim says he didn't do it. Was it a frame-up? Find out by watching 60 Minutes. That's tonight on CBS.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Boy, debris blowing everywhere. You see it? Kind of swirls here in this oval-shaped stadium. The most points since 1967 for the Philadelphia Eagles. 44. Here comes Calicut, and Calicut out to the 23. 1967, that's quite a while ago, you know that? Al Chesley up to make the tackle. Well, Dick Vermeil said we could win 10 or 11 ball games this year if we could average about 20 points a game. They've been very close to that all year, and this will really put them over the average.
Well, he made comment a couple of times throughout the season that you have to beat good teams, but you also have to play well and really destroy a poor team. And I think that's what we've seen today. He's got to be pleased with the number of points they scored.
Have a man shaking up. Bill Friel, our spotter, indicates also that 7 points by Detroit, that's their lowest output of the year. They've lost some tough games, but never have they been held to 7 points. There's Dick Vermeil wandering around. I don't know who the player is that's been shaken up.
I think Detroit, what Bill was saying, Gary, was Detroit has scored 7 points in a number of games, but the Eagles, that's the lowest they have held an opponent to 7.
Okay, all right.
That was the final down in Washington. The Skins 38, the Packers 21.
We have a final now on the Redskins, 38-21. 9-5. So they stay a game behind Philadelphia, and of course, they await that Giants-Dallas game. John Arnold was the man shaken up for the Detroit Lions. 2:39 left in the game. From the 24-yard line, Detroit. Scott and Gene Washington, the wide receivers. Bussey and Horace King, the running backs, behind Joe Reed. Reed is hit. Carl Hairston, 14th sack of the year. And Reed is hurt.
He got there in a hurry, didn't he? Joe didn't even get set. He beat Don Morrison, who's in right now playing the offensive tackle, number 62. And look how quickly Harrison gets there.
Landed full force on top of Reed, and that may be where the difficulty occurred for Joe. Boy, you hate to see that. He's battled back from injury, and now he's hurt again. Well, Hairston with 14, he had the lead in the NFC with 13 coming into this game. Of course, he did not play last week. I have never seen as much debris as there is now blowing on this football field.
I haven't either. It's coming out of the upper deck. It's the way this wind swirls around here in this Veterans Stadium.
Scott Hunter is going to come in at quarterback for Detroit. Fans starting to leave here, and they'll get ready for next Saturday. It's going to be a tough game. Joe Reed, of course, has had that abdominal problem as well as a groin problem, and I'm sure that tackle and sack by Harrison didn't help that any.
I'll tell you, let's just hope that it isn't a serious injury. I hate to see anybody when the game is out of control like this. Well, you can't. Everybody has to play. Everybody has to do their job, and sustain an injury in a situation like this.
Well, there's Comlo now. I said Hunter. Hunter still has a warm-up on, but Comlo is going to come back in. He was in to start this game, and then he left in favor of Joe Reed, and that's tough for Comlo to have to come in. He's been on the sideline all this time.
That is, Joe Reed is walking off the field under his own power. Seems to be okay. They had just saw a few stars, got knocked out a little bit. Let's hope he's going to be okay. We'll try to get a report on it.
Look at the sacks. Humphrey has one of them. Hairston has one for the 2 Philadelphia sacks. So Comlo will come back in. Comlo in this game 5 of 10 for 42 before leaving. Give to Dexter Bussey. Bussey is out to the 18-yard line as we approach the 2-minute warning. A lot of people have left this ballpark, but it's still very noisy.
It is.
Manny Sistrunk is in there defensively now for the Philadelphia Eagles.
You got an Dennis Franks who's in. He used to be a Philadelphia Eagle. He was in at center that time. Just leaving the field as we come down to the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning here in Veterans Stadium. 44-7, Philadelphia.
I'm Cheryl Teague. I feel at home in front of the camera. But behind the camera, I don't know the difference between a lens opening and a Broadway opening. So I rely on my Olympus OM10. My trusty OM10 gets great shots automatically. My OM10 has the smart little red light that tells me when it's okay to shoot. Oh, it's okay to shoot. Hold it, fellas. With Olympus OM10, great shots automatically.
Ford 79 countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 Mustangs and pickups, $600 on LTD, over $1,000 on Heritage Thunderbirds. See your Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $600, and $1,000 better ideas.
Well, I tell you, Sonny, it's been a pleasure all year long to work with producer Bob Rowe, who, by the way, has been warm the entire game in the truck.
I thought his name was Ralph.
And Jim Silman, our director, associate producer, Mike Albanese. Those guys are warm as toast down there and have been letting us know about it the entire game.
They have.
They're going to leave the truck to get some fresh air. There's a pass intended for Freddie Scott. Comlo coming in, delivering the ball. So it's going to be 4th down, and Detroit will kick it. Less than 2 minutes to go. Swider will come in. Swider kicked the ball a lot early in this game. For the game, he's kicked 7 times. There's Scott. Scott with a 34-yard touchdown catch. Scott's been one of the highlights of the game. 4 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. And now Wally Henry has come in to field his punt, making his first appearance after missing 4 straight games, and the crowd recognizes that. And they are very excited about this young man from UCLA, one of the most exciting performers in the NFL. Swider kicking. Here is Henry. And he's dropped at the 44-yard line. Henry has been shelled with an Achilles tendon problem, but he didn't get much running room on that play. A 30-yard punt that time, and Dennis Franks, his former teammate, there to make the tackle. 1:45 remaining. Well, the team to beat in the East has to be Philadelphia with 2 games remaining.
Has to be. The big one coming up next week if Dallas can get by the New York Giants today, and that's going to be a tough one for them.
It will be. Let's see now. Washington will finish at Dallas. And the Eagles will finish at Houston. You know it's going to go to that 16th and final Sunday. Willie Jamona. Doug English hitting. He got back to about the line of scrimmage. Well, the Eagles wasted little time in this game setting the trend as they led 24-0 by halftime. 2 touchdown passes from Jaworski to Carmichael. Montgomery with a 1-yard smash. Franklin hit the first of 3 field goals in that first half. And then they jumped up 30-0 in the third quarter. Now lead it 44-7. Walton to Jamona again. And Lloyd Jamona to the 42.5. Dave Purifoy. I'll say one thing for the Lions. They're still coming after him.
Boy, that defense, how long have they been out there this afternoon?
Again, this reminder for many of you who are watching this game, they'll have the second half of the doubleheader. Dallas playing host to the New York Giants.
I thought that Dick Vermeil did a nice thing at the beginning of this game today. He introduced this, as you look at Leonard Toews, got to be very happy with Dick Vermeil. He introduced the 15 players.
Also the general manager.